Lau and Ivan Kuznetsov were put on supervised release until their August court date for the stunt. They are facing a variety of charges. You're listening to ABC News.
Hot summer days and high energy bills are on the way. Upgrade your home's old leaky windows this month with Window Nation at 50% off all window styles. Yes, 50% off new, beautiful, energy-efficient windows, plus zero down, zero interest, and no payments for 2 years. Call now, 866-200-8670 or windownation.com. In select markets, trust our family of brands, New South Window and ArmorView. That's 866-200-8670 or windownation.com to book a consultation.
Ever wonder why you have insurance for your car or home, but not your digital life? Meet WebRoot Total Protection, your digital bodyguard that includes antivirus, identity protection, VPN, cloud backup, and more. With plans for individuals and families, WebRoot takes the guessing game out of cybersecurity so you can get back to living your best life online. Go to webroot.com/protect and get 60% off today. That's webroot.com/protect to get 60% off today. Live a better digital life with WebRoot because peace of mind shouldn't be optional.
Mediated talks between the U.S. and Iran are progressing, according to Pakistan's foreign ministry. Iran, though, still has not shown a full commitment to the terms laid out in the memo of understanding, including how ships navigate the Strait of Hormuz and whether Iran will make vessels travel a specific route, and whether Iran will allow international nuclear weapons inspectors inside the country. ABC News contributor and former Defense Department official Mick Mulroy.
They are very inconsistent on how we and Iran interpret the MOU, which seems to be plain English, at least for us. But this is going to be something that, well, if it gets worked out, it's going to have to be worked out in face-to-face negotiations in person. Simply going back and forth on social media doesn't tend to resolve anything.
In New York City, excitement building over speculation. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce will have their wedding at a famous sports arena.
Crews at New York Madison Square Garden are intensely unloading equipment in anticipation for the event of the summer. A law enforcement official briefed on the matter, telling the Associated Press global superstar Taylor Swift and Super Bowl champion Travis Kelce will have their wedding Friday night in that arena. The event is for about 1,000 people and is a 12-hour party beginning with a cocktail hour at 4 o'clock Friday afternoon and scheduled to last until about 4 a.m. Saturday morning.
ABC's Morgan Norwood. I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Hot summer days and high energy bills are on the way. Upgrade your home's old leaky windows this month with Window Nation at 50% off all window styles. Yes, 50% off new, beautiful, energy-efficient windows, plus zero down, zero interest, and no payments for 2 years. Call now, 866-200-8670 or windownation.com. In select markets, trust our family of brands, New South Window and ArmorView. That's 866-200-8670 or windownation.com to book a consultation.
Weather sponsored by H&K Group Incorporated.
The heat warning remains in effect through Saturday with record high temperatures in the forecast. Plenty of sunshine and very humid through the afternoon with a high 103, but it'll feel more like 110 at times. For tonight, very muggy under mostly clear conditions. Low 82 for the city, a bit cooler in the suburbs. And another hot and humid day on Friday, plenty of sunshine with a high again 103.
Start your new career with H&K Group Incorporated. H&K Group wants to offer you the opportunity to be part of the industry leader. 80 locations across Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. Visit hkgroup.com and apply today. H&K is an equal opportunity employer.
Well, here we are again, and this is looking like a pretty lopsided matchup, Jim.
That's right, Ron. I mean, in one corner, we've got a 175-pound guy, and in the other, a 6,000-ton heavyweight train?
Jim, this guy has no idea what he's getting himself into.
Ron, the size difference alone is staggering.
Oh, unbelievable, Jim. And this guy is acting like he doesn't have a care in the world.
What is this guy thinking, Ron?
Well, this is one of those rare moments where I actually find myself at a loss for words.
I can hardly bear to watch.
It's no contest. Every day, people tempt fate and die trespassing on railroad tracks. Railroad tracks are more dangerous than you think. See tracks, think train. For more safety tips and information, visit ctracksthinktrain.org.
As a veteran of Iraq or Afghanistan, joining IAVA.org really helps in the transition home. It's a network of OIF and OEF vets like me who've got your back here, just like we did over there. That means when you need help navigating the GI Bill, we've got your back. And when you're dealing with the transition home, we've got your back. Or when you just want someone to share stories with, we've got your back. Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America is there for you. Join our community at IAVA.org. We've got your back.
Brought to you by IAVA and the Ad Council.
WPHT, HD, WOGL, HD3, Philadelphia. From the Piazza Auto Group Studios, experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Free speech lives here. The WPHT afternoon.
Stop, and then the shot comes in, and it's not lined up at all. But I'll fix it. Oh, that's much better. I don't look like I'm seasick. Hello, everybody. Friday Eve. Yes, tomorrow is Friday. And I have had just such a crazy week. It's just been insane. Just absolutely crazy insane because I'm the bridesmaid. Never the bride. I'm the bridesmaid. And because I'm the bridesmaid, everybody wants me only on holidays. Everybody wants me now. And they're like, oh, yeah, I just got asked to do something Monday night till midnight, 9 to midnight. I'm like, I can't. I have so much. And I'm doing a morning show the next day. And so I can't. And you're a little late to the game here. If you want holiday, you have to book it early. Anyway, coming up in half an hour, Curtis Houck will be with us. He's a managing editor for Media Research Center and Newsbusters. You can find him at Curtis Houck, Houck, on X. And then next hour, around about 1 hour from now, Jason Isaac with the American Energy Institute. And then last hour, Chris Tremoli from the Washington Examiner will be joining us. So, yeah, we've got a good show coming up for you, and thank you to Matt and Justin, as always. I also just wanted to plug, since I'm working my butt off, I figured I might as well plug it. So Monday, I'll be on Wake Up America on Newsmax at 7:05, and then I'm back here from 3 to 6, and then 6:15, as soon as I get off here, I have to go get in front of the camera downstairs, and I will be on Ed Henry's show on the streaming channel, and 2, which at 6:15, you can find that on YouTube, just like you do if you're watching the PHT stream. You just go in the search bar and you put in Newsmax 2 Live, and it'll come right up, or just Newsmax 2, and you can click on the live link. However you choose to do it, you can join me there. So it's going to calm down next week because everybody's coming back from their big vacations. I don't know. I think maybe I might. We'll see. We'll see what we're going to do here. There's so much to talk about, but at the same time, since it's like Friday for so many people going into the holiday weekend, maybe we'll do something a little bit later. We'll see. Okay. So I want to talk about Trump in North Dakota. And we were just talking, Matt and I were just talking off the air about how cool it was to see Donald Trump in North Dakota. In, what is it, Minot, whatever the name of it. I have it, hold on. I have the name of it somewhere. It was, I have, Minot, I wrote it down. Medora. I wasn't even close. Medora. He was in Medora. And I thought the whole story about Teddy Roosevelt was pretty cool. I had read Brian Kilmeade's his book on Teddy Roosevelt. Super interesting. I think Brian and his writer do a really, really good job with their books. And it was a very, very interesting story. And I'm sure you heard a lot about it, about how he went out west after his wife and his mom died, both on Valentine's Day, the same day. Valentine's Day is crazy. And he was just broken, and he decided to get on the train, and he went west on the train, and he went as far as he could go, and the end of the line was Medora, North Dakota. So he goes, all right, I'll stay here. And that's what he did. He stayed there, and he became a cowboy, and he learned how to live on his own, how to be self-sustaining. He learned how to hunt and fish, and he really got an appreciation for the land. And that's why he was so passionate about national parks, about preserving the landscape and preserving so many of the wild areas that we have in this country. And we have an incredible park system, and we do have him to thank because he just did a fantastic job with the parks. Anyway, so and supposedly when he first arrived out there, because he came from a wealthy family in New York, the Roosevelts were wealthy, and he goes out west and he was sickly. He had, asthma. And they said he was very, very thin when he got there. And with all the hard work, he put on a lot of muscle and he became a big, big guy, big stocky guy. And that's the guy that we see as president. But try to imagine that guy much thinner with no muscle on him. It would have been different. Anyway, so I wanted to share with you the visuals. Whoever decides this, and I think a lot of it is Trump because he's a true showman. You had him getting off the new plane, the new Air Force One, which I think is amazing. And I love the new colors. Like, I really do like the new colors. I'm not for changing the baby blue, because if Trump does it, the left's going to lose their minds. He's such a narcissist. I mean, Kennedy did it, and that was okay. But if Trump does it, it's going to be a different story. However, I really, really, really like the new design on it with the darker red and the dark blue and the gold. It's beautiful, and it's not too much. Trump has a tendency, in my humble opinion, to go way too much, but especially with the golds. But I think it's absolutely gorgeous. So you see him on that. Then you see him on the train, which is a replica of the train that TR took out west. And that's all decked out for $250. Like, I love all this stuff. I am such a dork. I just love all this stuff. I will be head to toe in red, white, blue, and stars, stripes, and everything, and the whole bit. I just love it. And I just thought that the imagery was just so stunning. And then, of course, you see that picture taken from far away, where the news was far away, and you could see over the plane. You could just see like this curved road, and it's coming up a hill, and you see the Rough Riders. And what an incredible vision. It was just so, I could watch it all day. They had a guy out front dressed like Teddy Roosevelt, and then they had all the other Rough Riders. And what are they escorting? They're leading the Beast. Here comes the president in the Beast. And it was just such an incredible picture. And then you get into the town of Medora, and they had built, there's only like 300 people in the whole town, and they did like a mini replica of what it was like back in the day when Teddy Roosevelt was there. And this is because of for the opening of the museum, presidential museum. And so you saw like the inn that they had, and the saloon and all that kind of stuff. And there's Trump standing in front of all of that with all the people on bleachers. I swear everyone in that town was there. There were easily 300 people there. And he gave this speech, and sometimes I wish he would just stick to the script, because it was a beautiful speech. And I highly recommend you go back and listen to it in its entirety, uninterrupted. But I just chose some pieces of the speech to share with you. And, you can decide for yourself, but it just cracks me up, because partway through there, Trump's reading these beautiful words, quoting Teddy Roosevelt. And then he goes, "Can you believe it? And he goes into Trump, right? He just goes into Trump. And I'm like, if I was the speechwriter, I'd be like, oh, so close to it being perfect. So I just want to share some with you. This first cut here, I'll just go right through them, guys, 1 through 4. This is Trump. The speechwriter used a lot of Teddy Roosevelt's words. They were very highly aware that this was about Teddy Roosevelt. They very aware that this was about memorializing who he was, who as a man, who he was as a president, because he really does have an incredible story. So here we go. This is Teddy Roosevelt talking about what a great nation we are.
Theodore Roosevelt reminds us all that to be a great nation and to be a free nation, we must have courage. Without courage, you have nothing. As TR once put it, freedom is not a gift that lasts long in the hands of cowards. How about that? Doesn't last long in the hands of cowards. What a great statement.
He's like editorializing as he goes along. How about that? That's a great statement. But it's true. Think about that. This is why I thought it was such a good speech. Freedom is not a gift that lasts long in the hands of cowards. When you look at the socialist takeovers, communist takeovers all over the world, it's usually a minority of people that do it. It's a small minority. And they wind up taking over because the other people are cowards. And the small minority uses force. They use brute force. They will kill who they have to kill in order to seize power. So you cannot be a coward if you want to be free. So to me, this just fits so well with what we're seeing today in the country, and that's why I wanted to share it. So cut to talking about, they interwove words from Teddy Roosevelt into the 250th birthday of our country, and Trump goes off at the end, which is going to make me laugh. But again, it's the theme of cowards and courage, etc. So here, let's let Trump tell us.
As we enter the 250th year, Americans must never forget we are a historic and heroic people with a heroic spirit and a heroic purpose. And in this world, we are a very special group. American courage won our independence. It liberated millions and millions from slavery, rescued billions from tyranny, and sustained American liberty for 2.5 centuries, and we're not going to lose it to this group of losers. How can you imagine? Have you seen these people? Have you seen these people?
There he
goes. The press
goes.
is just building them up. They're losers, okay? They're nasty people, but they're losers. We'll teach them. We're going to teach them. They're not going to hurt our country. Without courage, there is no America today. If you don't have courage, we wouldn't have America today. We wouldn't be close.
And we're losing our courage as a nation. I think we're losing our courage as a nation. We don't want to fight for anything anymore. And some things are worth fighting for. You may not want to fight, but some things are worth fighting for. You see the younger generation fighting super hard for democratic socialism, communism with a bow on it. You see them fighting super hard, and they are fighting just the way you saw the cowards fight in Cuba and in Russia, etc., when they were first starting to take over. Things had to change. We needed redistribution of the wealth. I can't make it. I can't make enough money. You have so much money. You have so much power. And then, of course, they come into power just like they're Bernie Sanders, but with guns. Bernie Sanders was raged against the man, and the man is terrible. Bernie now has 3 houses, is worth multi-million dollars, and travels in a private jet, and big SUVs, privately driven, of course, with a driver. So he became everything that he said was wrong. And this is what happens. They're the same way. They can't earn it because they're not capable and they're not willing to do the work. They can't earn it legit, so they take it. And people who don't have courage and are cowards can't fight them. Let's talk about something else that I think we are short on, and that is ambition. Cut 3.
Theodore Roosevelt understood that the grand and righteous ambition is not a vice, it is a American virtue. Having ambition is a positive thing, he said, not a negative thing. And it won us our country, and it's been among the greatest forces for good. It's been the greatest thing. Our attitude and the attitude toward our country and making our country great by some people. Not all presidents were like that. I don't want to get involved with talking about the individual presidents, but we had some good. We had a few great. We had a couple. But we had some good. But we had some real bad ones, and they set us back very, very substantially. In particular, the last one. A nation, like an individual, either rises or falls, builds or decays, lives or dies by this.
Yeah. We're not super ambitious anymore, not all of us. But as a nation, we were always seen as super ambitious. We had to see what was out there. Teddy Roosevelt's like, I'm just taking the train to the end of the line. I'm going to see what's out there, and I'm going to make it work. That doesn't really work. anymore for us. For some people, it does. Look at Elon Musk. Like, Elon Musk is super ambitious. But I think as a people that we'd rather sit back and be comfortable. And that there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want. But I think as a country, we have to be ambitious. And then this last cut is my favorite because I think it is so important here, and it ties it all together, and it's what I've been saying all along. Look at me and Teddy Roosevelt. It's because I read the book, probably. But talking about what the greatest threat is to this country at this point in time.
TR was also a staunch and ferocious opponent of a thing called communism. You've been hearing a lot about that lately. He said the doctrines of communistic socialism, if consistently followed, mean the ultimate annihilation of civilization. Other than that, he thought it was wonderful. As we're seeing now, communism is the greatest threat to our country, including, I believe this, you know, when I said it, I said, boy, that's pretty severe, but I think it's true. The biggest threat to our country, including World War I, World War II, Pearl Harbor, September 11th. I think it's a bigger threat, potentially a bigger threat than that, because it's like a cancer that spreads, and you better stop it fast. We will never let the United States become a communist country. Won't happen.
The biggest threat to our country, including bigger than World War I, World War II, Pearl Harbor, September 11th. Because we could get together and fight the enemy, but with communism, the enemy is us. The enemy is within. So it's a very, very different fight. So whoever wrote the speech, and I know Trump supposedly has a lot of input into the speeches. He puts a lot into them, and I think he's a fan of Teddy Roosevelt. I think he's one of those, he follows Teddy Roosevelt. I know he's a friend. He has Andrew Jackson's portrait in the Oval Office, or he did during 45. I don't know about 47. There's a lot of gold in there now, so I don't know if there's any room in there for any more portraits. But he seems to have a lot of them in there. He's got Lincoln, he's got the Lincoln bust, he's got all that stuff. But I think Teddy Roosevelt is one of those presidents that truly exemplifies what we as a country are about, or what we used to be about, how we used to view ourselves. Now it's apparently, or it's bad, if we view ourselves as better than others. It's okay to have a different mindset, but for some people it's not. For some people, America is just not the best, and if you say you're the best, it's a horrible thing. So I think we need to get back to that. It's okay to say that America is the best at this, or I'm super proud to be an American. And it doesn't mean that I'm putting you down. It doesn't mean that I don't love your country, but I love my country. And you can love yours. That's fine. You can think yours is the best. That's fine. I'm going to disagree with you because I think mine is the best. There's nothing wrong with that, but the left doesn't want that. The left wants us to hate each other. They want us to hate this country. They want to just point out everything that is bad in this country. Because if we can do that, and if they can sow resentment and greed, envy, then, and tell people, oh, you're getting shortchanged based on color of your skin, your whatever gender you happen to be today, immutable characteristics, like these characteristics, and divide us based on that, and add in envy and greed, you get a generation like we're seeing now. You're seeing the 20-somethings who want to tear it down and see absolutely nothing wrong with taking your apartment building because you don't need that and you didn't earn it, and we need it and other people need it, and we know better than you to how to redistribute the wealth. The useful idiots, I believe they were called at one point in time, and it's true. Coming up, Curtis Houck will be joining us. He is with Newsbusters. He's also with the Media Research Center. Going to talk about why the media is so anti-American. It's everything we've just been talking about. Of course, you're always welcome to join in. 855-839-1210, 855-839-1210, or you can tag me in a post on X at Mary Walter Radio. No S. It's coming back with all of this and more on 1210 WPHT.
Hit the road this season to watch the birds. Book your road trip with Fans of Philly. Trips are available now for Nashville, Arizona, Chicago, and London. Travel in style with transportation, a pregame party, and game tickets to enjoy the birds on the road this season with Fans of Philly. The official travel partner of 94 WIP and the Eagles Radio Network. Book now at fansofphilly.com. That's fans with a PH of Philly.com.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
What if everything you learn in history class was only half the story? I'm Dr. Hrini Bhatt, host of Hidden History. Every Monday, I go where history gets mysterious. Vanished civilizations, doomsday prophecies, paranormal phenomena, and events that science still can't fully explain. On Hidden History, I treat these moments like open case files. Not myths, not superstition, just incomplete explanations waiting for a closer look. Listen to and follow Hidden History, available now wherever you get your podcasts.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Lenseek.
Microsoft is tapping Chevron for a long-term deal to provide natural gas-fired power for a proposed data center campus in West Texas that will cost more than $7 billion. Chevron announced that Project Kilby is expected to begin generating power by 2028, eventually producing up to 2.67 gigawatts of electricity for the data center campus, the equivalent of powering around 2 million homes. I'm Jason Brooks.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Prioritize yourself and make your dream of an attractive, healthy smile a reality at PI Dental Center. The professionals at PI Dental have been transforming patients' smiles for over 38 years. Board-certified specialists, Dr. Glenn Wolfinger and Dr. Robert Slough, perform complex dental makeovers with their Teeth in a Day protocol, where dental implants are placed and restored with fixed teeth in just one day. It's time to invest in yourself. For a smile that's monumental, trust PI Dental. Visit pidentalcenter.com.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-358-6868. That's 800-358-6868. Again, 800-358-6868.
Progressive Insurance. Progressive can protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, RV, and more. In short, a lot of things. Bundle today at progressive.com.
Weather, sponsored by Uber.
The extreme heat warning is going to continue. We're going to get down to around 82 overnight. Tomorrow, high 102. Not much relief on Saturday. Mostly sunny, 99. Possible thunderstorm in the afternoon. Sunday, 92. Possible thunderstorms again. Monday, high 84.
For all the things you have to do and places you need to be, let Uber take you there. Because there are nights out, airport trips, and car troubles in your area. There are drivers in your area. Uber. Request a ride today. Wait time varies. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Broadcasting live from the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
Talk Radio 1210. WPHT.
Oh, you can never go wrong with a little John Sousa. Americans used to love a good march. Nowadays, kids would laugh at all that stuff. I don't know. To me, it's just like so American. I love this stuff. So I'm going to force it on you for the rest of the time that I'm here because I have to be here too. So there you go. No, I think you guys like it. All right. Joining us now, Curtis Houck, Managing Editor for Media Research Center, and he's with Newsbusters as well. And you can find him at Curtis Houck, Houck, over on X. And you also see him a lot on Newsmax because that's where I saw you last time. Hi, Curtis.
Hey, Mary, good to be with you.
Yeah, good to be with you, too. It was a nice surprise when I saw you were coming out. I'm like, I just saw him. I was with you on Newsmax earlier this week, I think.
Yeah, absolutely, with the great Tracy Sable, yeah.
Oh, you remember? Oh, you're good. You remember the host name. I'm like, it's all a big blur to me, so I don't remember. I'm also older than you, so my brain's like, you don't need that information, and it goes out. So we were just talking about the speech that Donald Trump gave at the Teddy Roosevelt Library, and I thought it was a fantastic speech. Whoever wrote it did a really, really great job because they took the words of Theodore Roosevelt, that's his name, Teddy Roosevelt. Is that disrespectful to say Teddy instead of Theodore? I don't know.
I mean, yeah, Teddy, I think, yeah, why not?
Yeah,
TR.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's who the teddy bear is named after. Did you know that?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, because of Encounter in the Woods.
Yep. So they had the bear, but he was one of those guys who just just embodied everything that was just so American back then in the 1800s, right? It was just so American at the time, and that's kind of what the legend of America is: exploring and learning and conquering things, and learning things. He learned how to totally live on his own and how to hunt for sustenance, and he saw the beauty of the landscape, and instead of saying, oh, let's dig it up and build a high rise, he said, let's preserve this for future generations. This is nowhere else on earth. We have to save this. And they took that and then kind of contrasted it with today, right? And he talked about courage and ambition and all of those things. Have we as a country lost those qualities that Teddy Roosevelt so embodied?
I mean, yeah, and the closeness to the people, you think about that as well. Teddy Roosevelt was often thought of as the common man, and I mean, in Edmund Morris's trilogy, written probably 35, 40 years ago at this point, the first book opens with, on one of his inauguration days, he shakes hands. They threw open the doors of the White House, and people could just go up, and he shook hands literally like all day with people. I mean, obviously for security reasons, it's unimaginable today, but even then, like over 100 years ago, 120 years ago, to think that a president did that, and a person could just walk up off the street and shake hands with the commander-in-chief and thank them and say that they'll be praying for them, it's just something that's completely unimaginable. I mean, right before we came on, too, the other thing that was interesting was, I saw on X, Erica Kirk posted earlier today a clip from one of Charlie's last shows where he talked about what it means to be an American. In that, if someone is becoming an American, they should become an American in every facet, and that there's no divided allegiance. If someone says they are American and something else also, they are not an American at all. We have room for but one flag, the American flag. We have room for but one language, and that is the English language. And so there's so many lessons of Teddy Roosevelt, especially from just a cultural standpoint and a level of respect and reverence, I would say, Mary, for American institutions and the American people and obviously the land itself. And he showed that there's a way to be respectful to the American tableau, the American environment, to a landscape without coming off like a hippie, or B, like some sort of, we need to give it back to the Native Americans, some massive like land acknowledgement that we see has poisoned the left in places like Canada.
Oh, they were just doing it in San Diego. Their 4th of July ceremony has gone from honoring our troops because they have a huge Navy port there, right, in San Diego.
Right.
There's no acknowledgement of that at all, but there's a 2-hour Native American blessing and land acknowledgement, which I have no problem incorporating, Native Americans. I think they should be, because they were the first peoples here, and I do think we treated them pretty crappy. We broke a lot of agreements with them, but it all, I think we have to put it like, let's look at the whole picture. Don't dwell on just the negatives. You can acknowledge that, but that doesn't have to, right now is not the time or place. We can have a time and place for that, but it's not on the 4th of July.
Yeah, and exactly, that's so true.
So time and place, people, time and place. But you talked about him, shaking people's hands. And it's interesting because Garfield you could go into the White House and talk to Garfield, right? And he would have people, the man who shot him, Charles Goudreau, he really thought that he could help Garfield be a better president, and he really thought he should be part of the team. And he would go and sit there. You could go and sit in this outer room for hours, and they go next, and you could go in and have your time with the president to redress a grievance or whatever it was that you thought was important. That's the way it was. But after Roosevelt being shot, it's surprising after Garfield being shot, it's surprising that Roosevelt was then still doing that, not that long after Garfield was shot.
Yeah.
So it's pretty interesting.
And Roosevelt was a president who was shot himself as well, yeah. So another unfortunate similarity with Donald Trump, yeah.
That's that's interesting. All right, so let's talk about some of shaming of the United States. There's a great piece in Newsbusters, and there's lots of video clips, guys, if you want to watch it. It's called "Ashamed of the USA: Media's Worst Anti-American Outbursts." And I love that you got Sunny Hostin front and center, because that woman, honestly, I would chip in to send her to another country. She hates it here so bad, I would pay her airfare. One way, though. One-way
send
ticket.
her to Haiti, Venezuela before President Trump came in, Iran, Palestine. I'm making quotation marks. Wherever she wants to go, I totally go for it. I mean, I think the thing that we showed, that my colleague Jeff Dickens shows in this package at Newsbusters, we have 27 different quotes about the media's worst anti-American outbursts, is the through line is, yes, obviously some anti-Americanism, and whether it's the flag, the founding documents, the national anthem, the founders, you take your pick, there's hatred everywhere. But it shows, Mary, that this is a thing that has gone back decades. This is not a new phenomenon. I think Donald Trump has led to a hit of the accelerator for the car to go over the cliff in terms of the left's hatred for America. But this is something that has been going on for a long time. So I think folks should not lose sight of that this is something that the left has had problems with for many, many years. They've been saying all kinds of things about the American flag and how sickened they are by it, and the national anthem. Yes, Sonny Hostin says America is a sick and racist country, but you can go back to even the 1990s. That's one of our, thing from 1991 in the Boston Globe is our earliest quote in here. So it just goes to show that the left, anytime they, Mary, they did that little fake waving the flags, the patriotism at the 2024 DNC. Nobody believed it then. No one should believe it now, because you should just listen to what these people actually say, like the DSA. When you point out they're very anti-American, they're like, well, no, these socialists that are rising within the party, they're just very isolated cases. But when they want to talk about the energy surrounding the party, they'll talk them up. So which is it?
Right. Oh, but see, aren't we at that point? I keep saying this. We're at that point in the play. We've all read the book, seen the play, watched the movie of how this happens in a country, right? Of how it gets taken over by a very small group of people, a relatively small group of people who take it over, and because in Donald Trump's speech, because everyone else lacks the courage. They are cowards. Now, I firmly believe that the communists are cowards too. They're not exactly fighters. They threaten. They use violence when they can. When people are unarmed. When they'll go after people when they're in a group. dressed in black with their faces covered because they're cowards. But we know how this happens. It was only a group of like 24 guys who took over Cuba. It was a very, very small little group that Fidel had. And
but it's all through intimidation.
Exactly. And they've tried the intimidation on the American people with, you can't say this because you're white. You can't do this because you're a white male. You can't do this because of this. And they tried that, and it worked for a little while. But do you think it's starting to roll back?
No, absolutely. I totally agree. I mean, people aren't listening to that anymore. Like, being called a racist is like, yeah, okay, all right, yeah, whatever. Cool story, bro. Whereas, you look at, Eric Erickson pointed out that, this is part of the reason why there hasn't been a lot of coverage and attention of, like, the massive Islamic gang rapes over in the UK and that huge scandal over there. Because what the Brits are dealing with is they're much more post-democratic, and they're just a bunch of wimps. They're much further down the road where being called a racist for wanting to investigate what a bunch of mass importation of immigrants has done to the population, you get called a racist, people get uncomfortable with that. But here in America, pointing something out like that, no, it's not going to faze anybody. Sure, it may faze some people, like highly educated white people in like New York, D.C., Philadelphia suburbs here. Increasingly people from where I'm from in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, that might threaten them, intimidate them into silence. But most people, they don't care anymore. They just say it's a dodge.
Okay, you're out in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. The next, if I ever get to see, if I see you at like at CPAC or something like that, you have to bring me Mr. Stickies.
Oh, Mr. Stickies, yeah, or Sturgis pretzels, yeah. I got you.
I want Mr. Stickies. I just want to play something for you here. Can we play cut 6, you guys? It's short. It's only 40 seconds here, 43 seconds. I want to play this. This is Harry Enton on CNN and a poll that was done that asked the question, are you proud of being an American? Listen to the breakdown here because I think it tells a very interesting story.
Among Republicans, 93% are extremely or very proud. Just a single one, say they have little to no pride in being an American. But look over at the Democratic side. This is where we've seen this extremely or very number. It's been taking a tumble at 27%, which is way different than the 93. You do the quick math with me here. What is that? That's a 66-point difference here in terms of extremely or very. But look at this. The little or no proud to be an American actually among Democrats is greater than the extremely or very proud number. So we are just living in such a different universe if you're a Republican versus a Democrat on the basic fundamental question of being proud to be an American.
It says a lot to me. And it says this happened on the left very, very quickly. So does the left wear this as a badge of honor and not care? Or do they sound the alarm that we have a problem and we need to fix it?
Well, it's unfortunately seems like the people who know that there's a problem on the left and do want to fix it don't seem to have the power right now because it is a one-way train. You have people like Josh Shapiro, the governor of the Commonwealth here, coming out and say, oh, I'm willing to work with anybody when he's asked about the socialists. That doesn't mind this, big tent. That's the new talking point that you see, Mary. And it's like, eat me last. That's basically what these people are saying. But what this shows, though, is that for the left, it's a religion. That is a religion for them. Hating this country is a religion for them. Politics is a religion to them. Yes, the right, we're upset, obviously, when, Barack Obama was president, when Joe Biden was in office. We upset how things are going in the country, but we didn't hate America.
Right.
I think that's the difference with the left.
Yeah, it's a huge difference, and I'm glad you pointed that out. We may not like the person in the White House, but like when Obama was elected, I still got up and went to work the next day. When Joe Biden won, 3 weeks after the actual election, Joe Biden won. I didn't say, oh, I need therapy puppy and I need coloring and all this stuff because I can't cope because he won. It's terrible in America. And honestly, I have to tell you, I really thought that Biden was going to crash the economy, but I think that Obama was running everything, which is why the economy didn't crash. I think if Joe Biden were truly involved in charge of anything, it probably would have been a hell of a lot worse than it was.
No, absolutely.
I also want to talk quickly. I have 4 minutes left before they yell at me. Nina Totenberg, she's with NPR, and she, on Tuesday, as the Supreme Court was putting out their final opinions, she posted a false report on NPR's website. She talked about it on the air, that Alito was calling it quits. And I remember this hitting all of my social feeds, right, and all my news feeds, that Alito was retiring. The court announced on Tuesday. Well, the court did not announce that on Tuesday, so where the hell did that come from?
Right. Well, she claims that, I heard reference to an announcement of retirement. She thought that's what she heard when she was leaving the courtroom, so she just assumed that it was about Justice Alito as she left the court on June 30th. It makes absolutely no sense. This is so bad, Mary, that even Brian Stelter, with his newsletter yesterday, came out and said, I don't really buy what Nina Totenberg is saying. We all understand in the news business how people have obits or big news stories pre-written, to pull behind the curtain a little bit in radio and TV and in print. That's how obituaries go up so fast. But I don't really know how this even happened. And the fact that there were so many editors and that should have been involved, but because she's Nina freaking Totenberg, she can do whatever she wants. She was best friends with RBG. She was BFFs with someone that she was supposed to be covering, holding to account. She's basically a celebrity at NPR, so a lot of the rules didn't really seem to apply to her, and none of this really makes sense. My friend Mary Margaret Olay at the Daily Wire thinks that, there still could be an retirement announcement coming, that she might have been tipped off. There's a few other theories out there, but either way, Nina Totenberg, however old she is at this point, in her mid-80s, should just retire herself.
Yeah, 82 years old. I'm sure she loves the job, and that's wonderful, but I'm like, I don't know. Don't you want to just go and retire and enjoy life and go sailing or whatever it is you want to do, But listen, she loves the job, and that's great. But I do give her credit because she did come out and apologize and take full responsibility. And I think that's because of her age.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody younger would have passed it off on somebody else. So I give her credit because there's a little bit of character there. There's some character there, and said, my bad. I did it. I made the mistake, and she apologized to Alito. But what she did not do, and this never would have happened, had she not rushed to be first with the news and she had called Alito's office, it wouldn't have happened.
Right. Any other junior reporter might have done that follow-up question or follow-up phone call there, and she didn't. But, yeah, I'm glad that she went on TV or went on NPR and actually talked about it and shared her text message to Alito, and that she said, really, it's my mistake only, which is, it's definitely rare, especially among her fellow brothers and sisters on the left.
Right. So I have to give credit where credit is due, and I don't know if that's due to age or whether she just, she's brought up in a different time where you did things like that and you took responsibility for stuff instead of just throwing somebody under the bus and walking away. Curtis, we got to run. Thank you so much for joining me. Pleasure to speak with you as always, and have a wonderful Independence Day.
Happy 4th, Mary, as always. We'll talk soon or be on air together again soon.
Right, and when I'm going to call you the next time I think I'm going to see you, and you are bringing me Mr. Stickies.
You got it.
All right. Thanks. Take care. We got more coming up. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to 1210 WPHT.
In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand. Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today. An Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Well, Lorenzo, the pitch looked good.
Yeah, so green.
USA keeper was decent enough. Didn't have much to do. 99 minutes. Not a single goal. Well, Bet365 sure came through, though. I bet $10 and got $150 in bonus bets, just for signing up.
At least someone scored. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Pennsylvania. T's and C's apply. In-app only.
College Transitions, LLC, is looking for a full-stack web developer in Doylestown, Pennsylvania, and Tampa, St. Petersburg, and Clearwater, Florida. Master's degree of Science, Computer Information Systems, knowledge and skills of WordPress development, WooCommerce development, PHP, and MySQL, JavaScript, and front-end, cloud and hosting environments, AWS, DigitalOcean, WP Engine, GoDaddy, scalable architectures. 100% telecommute position. Send CV to Andrew at collegetransitions.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for buying gas. That's right. You can earn cash back with Upside just for buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside, and just last year, I made nearly $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get cash back? If you like extra cash, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back when you fill your tank. Use promo code FRESH to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
Now, you can listen to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the iHeartRadio app.
Man, that wasn't that long ago. Things have changed so much. So coming up after the top of the hour, we're going to talk to Jason Isaac from the American Energy Institute. And then I want to do some happy stuff about the 4th of July. Some good news about the 4th of July, about our independence, about America. I just want to go to, I have time here. I want to go to cut 5 here. Because this is a Democrat politician. His name is Chris Rabb. He's from Pennsylvania, people. And he's the Democrat nominee for Pennsylvania's 3rd congressional district. And he made these remarks during the America at 250, Trump Fascism, Historical Erasure, and the Battle Over Truth panel. And it was held last week at People's Plaza on Independence Mall in Philly. That sounds like a happy, fun group, doesn't it? That sounds like a group of people I want to party with. Trump, America 250, Trump's a fascist. Okay. So listen to what he had to say here. And it's kind of long. But can you imagine sitting, like voluntarily attending this thing? This is the mindset these people have, and this is why they're so miserable. Go.
When we talk about the eve of the celebration of the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, I think in very personal terms about my ancestors who did not benefit from these screeds that were very lofty, but were notoriously catering to a performative aspect of collective genius that purposely erased indigenous and black peoples. And one of those people was Barbara Williams, my great-great-great-grandmother, who was owned by the grandson of Philip Livingston, one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence. So I descend from one of those enslavers who signed this document that did not create a new nation. It facilitated the creation of a new nation many years later through the ratification of the U.S. Constitution, but that's not what the Declaration of Independence did. That's not what it did. It created distance from an empire to help very privileged people continue that privilege and ultimately institutionalize that through the U.S. Constitution many years later. But it certainly did not provide independence to indigenous and black peoples. And we cannot talk about anything today without acknowledging that this is a nation born on stolen land and stolen labor.
Yay. You know, if he knew anything about history, he would know that, the Declaration was just to benefit these rich people. If he knows his history, he would have known that most of these people who signed this lost everything. They lost their riches. They lost their land. 5 were captured and tortured. Others died in poverty. They lost everything to give birth to this country. So I love when people stand up there and they act like they're the smartest person in the room, and they don't know anything. And that's who that man, Chris Rabb, is, because he clearly doesn't know history. But hey, Pennsylvania, elect him, and you can have him representing you. Coming up, we're going to talk about energy with Jason Isaac on 1210 WPHT.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code BOOST to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money, so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code BOOST to borrow up to $10,000. Use code BOOST to borrow up to $10,000.
If clutter is costing you time, fix it right away. Closet Factory designs and installs custom storage for closets, pantries, and home offices. Schedule a free design consultation at closetfactory.com. Closetfactory.com.
Hi, this is Larry Steinhaus, and I want to let you know that I buy houses. I buy houses from people that may be a tired landlord, maybe somebody who's having trouble selling their house, or maybe someone who needs to sell their house quickly. Well, all you need to do is call 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137, and I promise to answer the phone and help you with your situation. That's right, your house may be cluttered. It may be a house that a relative left you, or it may just be a house you just want to get rid of. 855-939-1137.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Giving blood is easy. It only takes about an hour, and a single donation can help save up to 3 lives. Donate now. Call 1-800-RED-CROSS or redcrossblood.org.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. A dangerous heat dome locked over much of the country. New York City hitting 100 degrees today, a first in 14 years. But the humidity is making it feel even hotter in the Midwest, parts of the South and East Coast. In Washington, D.C., Asa Watson says just being out for a short time is a challenge.
Ridiculous. When I got in the car, it felt like I almost burned myself. Like, it was bad.
Security is tight in and around Washington, D.C. for America's 250th celebrations. ABC's Pierre Thomas getting a first-hand look during a security drill for law enforcement, patrolling the waters and restricted airspace.
The bottom line is Coast Guard deals with them, tries to warn them to get out of the restricted airspace. If they don't go, then NORAD is authorized or can be authorized to actually take them down.
Extreme heat could also impact travel for the holiday getaway. ABC's Matt Rivers is at Newark Liberty International in New Jersey.
Display saying that more than 72 million Americans will be traveling at some point over this holiday period. And if you are flying, today will be the busiest day for that. The FAA saying that they'll be handling more than 52,000 flights today. That is thousands more than it handles on a typical day. And TSA is expected to screen more than 3 million passengers today.
The CDC is urging Americans to take precautions to reduce the risk of mosquito bites, saying that West Nile virus is spreading faster and earlier than usual. Officials are seeing the highest number of cases at this point in the season since 2004. New signs the labor market is slowing. Hirings for last month dropped sharply. ABC's Jim Ryan with the numbers.
After a month that saw non-farm payroll employment increase by 172,000, the figure from June fell to 57,000 new positions, many of them in professional services and healthcare. Still, the unemployment rate, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, fell slightly to 4.2% last month.
You're listening to ABC News.
Hot summer days and high energy bills are on the way. Upgrade your home's old leaky windows this month with Window Nation at 50% off all window styles. Yes, 50% off new, beautiful, energy-efficient windows, plus zero down, zero interest, and no payments for 2 years. Call now, 866-200-8670 or windownation.com. In select markets, trust our family of brands, New South Window and ArmorView. That's 866-200-8670 or windownation.com to book a consultation.
Ever wonder why you have insurance for your car or home, but not your digital life? Meet WebRoot Total Protection, your digital bodyguard that includes antivirus, identity protection, VPN, cloud backup, and more. With plans for individuals and families, WebRoot takes the guessing game out of cybersecurity so you can get back to living your best life online. Go to webroot.com/protect and get 60% off today. That's webroot.com/protect to get 60% off today. Live a better digital life with WebRoot, because peace of mind shouldn't be optional.
The man and woman that climbed to the spire of the Empire State Building yesterday have been released from custody. Angelina Nicolau and Ivan Kutsetnov are on supervised release, facing multiple charges, including reckless endangerment, burglary, and criminal mischief. That stunt seen around the world, ending in what appeared to be a proposal. ABC's Aaron Katursky catching up with the duo after the hearing.
They did walk out of court today, hand in hand, and they ended up walking to the train. We walked with them. And they are on supervised release. The attorney said that the couple, Russians, live in New Jersey and intend to stay there.
Officials at the Empire State Building say the couple stayed the night before the stunt. A new push from Washington to ban an illicit substance sold at deli counters, convenience stores, and vape shops all around the country. ABC's Andrea Fujii has more.
It's called 7-OH, a stimulant that can boost energy. Products can be in pill form, tea, or treats like ice cream and fruit-flavored gummies. The DEA now wants to classify it as a Schedule I drug, the same as heroin and LSD. 7-OH is a psychoactive substance with opioid-like effects derived from the naturally occurring kratom plant.
Hockey legend Alex Ovechkin returning for a 22nd NHL season after re-signing with the Washington Capitals. That deal reportedly includes $1 million salary and bonuses worth an additional $8 million. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Hot summer days and high energy bills are on the way. Upgrade your home's old leaky windows this month with Window Nation at 50% off all window styles. Yes, 50% off new, beautiful, energy-efficient windows, plus zero down, zero interest, and no payments for 2 years. Call now, 866-200-8670 or windownation.com. In select markets, trust our family of brands, New South Window and ArmorView. That's 866-200-8670 or windownation.com to book a consultation.
The summer heat means it's that time of year to crank up the AC again. To keep your home cooling more efficiently and help save you on high energy bills, better go Gaida and finally replace your old drafty, inefficient windows and doors at Gaida Door and Window. Right now, Gaida is offering their best discounts of the year with their big 40% off summer sales event on all expertly installed windows and doors. You'll receive 40% off each window you buy. That's right, 40% off all high-performance, energy-efficient triple-pane windows. And you'll receive 40% off any door, including insulated entry doors, patio doors, garage doors, and storm doors. Plus, get your project started today with no money down and pay it off interest-free for up to 18 full months. All prior sales excluded. Minimum purchase required. Don't let these big discounts pass you by. Go Gaida today to take advantage of these limited time savings by calling to schedule a free in-home estimate at 1-877-GO-GAIDA or visit them at GoGaida.com. That's go, GUIDA.com.
WPHT, HD, WOGL, HD3, Philadelphia. From the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. Free speech lives here. The WPHT Afternoon Show.
From Jersey roots to the nation's air, she cuts through noise like she just don't care. Truth on the table, no sugar, no spin. If you wanna talk real, yeah, Mary's dialed in. Headlines breaking, but she's breaking it down. While the rest plays safe, she's the best in town. From across the globe to your ride home drive, she's got the facts and the fire live. She'll never waver, yeah, she'll never falter. Turn up the volume, it's time for Mary Walter. It's Mary Walter Radio. Let's get into it.
So we had forgotten about that. Newman Price, thank you so much. Remember, thank goodness I have a last name that is super, super easy to rhyme with. Can you imagine if I had a really long name that's hard to pronounce or is very ethnic and I try to find a name to rhyme with that? It would be hilarious. That would have been really funny. Okay, let's talk a little bit about energy because everybody's running their air conditioning and everybody's hot. And just remember, like 3 weeks ago, it was unseasonably cold in June. We were going through a very, very cold June. But, you know, with global climate change, we'll fix it. We'll fix it with global climate change. Let's talk about that with Jason Isaac. Jason is the CEO of the American Energy Institute. And you can follow him on X at Isaac4Energy. Isaac, welcome to 1210 WPHT. How you doing?
It's great to be on, Mary. Love the song. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I know. See what AI and a guy who knows what he's doing can put together?
Pretty amazing. I was kind of jealous.
Well, I was going to say, you could probably make one for you because you have an easy-to-rhyme last name, too.
Yeah, it helps.
Exactly. So, so can we start off talking about, because it's hot and everybody's running their air conditioning, right? And you have, of course, so now the left doesn't know what to do because they're hot too, and they're very soft people. So they want their air conditioning as well, but we're killing the planet. Did you see one of the politicians in France blamed America on their quote unquote heat wave, and it was like 87 degrees in their heat wave. I mean, you know, they're French, so they're not tough people either. So I get it because they're French, but they're blaming us because of all of the electricity we use for our air conditioning. So we have a piece from Mayor Mamdani in New York discussing this and addressing this because, you know, you get brownouts in the city because everybody's running their air conditioning. So he's going to solve the problem. Here we go.
And to every business owner, please set your thermostats to 78 degrees to alleviate the stress on our power grid. Every worker in New York City has the right to a safe workplace, and that includes safety in extreme heat. For New Yorkers looking...
Yeah, so set your thermostat to 78 degrees. Now, that doesn't bother me at all. Like I can, you know, not have my thermostat cooler than that, and I throw a fan on in the bedroom, and I'm fine. But are we back to the Jimmy Carter days of energy? Because didn't Jimmy Carter do that? Didn't he like tell people to set their thermostats at certain levels? You know, in the winter, you know, put on an extra sweater. I think Jimmy Carter did that.
Yeah, we really are. And it's unfortunate because we've had the leftists over the last few decades that have forced at the state level, at the Public Utility Commission level, and then when they were in control of the federal level, unreliable energy sources that aren't producing enough energy. And then you've had Trump 2.0 come in, and Secretary of Energy Chris Wright just this morning announcing on July 4th that subsidies for wind and solar that aren't currently under construction are gone. They've expired. This has been, you know, this new industry that's needed over 40 years of federal taxpayer subsidies that have done nothing to improve grid reliability, but they've done everything to increase the cost. The Trump administration is keeping coal-fired power plants online with executive orders and emergency orders. That's keeping the lights on. It's giving us enough affordable, reliable electricity that we can set our thermostats comfortably. And we actually have air conditioning, unlike the French, who I'm wondering if they're just surrendering to the weather. Unfortunately, there's a massive loss of life in France, people that are literally surrendering to the weather because they just don't have AC. They have this guilty conscience about running something which is just unimaginable to me. The woke mind virus has completely set in the EU, and it's literally killing people.
But also, to be fair to them, I do like to make fun of the French because it's super easy and doesn't take a lot of energy or wit. but to be fair to them, we don't realize I always thought that, Italy was really far south. But if you look at a globe, New York and Italy are kind of like on the same parallel there. Like we're kind of at the same latitude. So they're so much farther north. So it's inherently cooler there to begin with. So I just don't think they're used to it. They're just not used to it. It's like people in Maine probably aren't as used to it, the heat and humidity and things like that, as people in Atlanta are.
No, they're really not. And so what's happened is as their cities have expanded, the urban heat island effect has set in, which is natural when you put a lot of concrete and asphalt and you take down trees in cities, and it gets hot, and that's what happens, and it gets hot longer because you're essentially heating up that asphalt and concrete. But you get out in rural areas, and the temperature is much more cooler and milder. And then you need mitigation from that, and you get that with having air conditioning and you have heat. But for some reason, they're just so guilty of doing so because it's powered by affordable, reliable energy, which overwhelmingly comes from natural gas and coal. Used to have a lot of nuclear in Europe, but they got convinced that was bad. And so they're suffering, and rightfully so. I hope people wake up, especially all the people that are here for the World Cup, are loving, our food, our hospitality, our great country, and you've got so many different places that you can travel throughout the 50 United States. They're loving the fact that we have central air, and you don't have to walk in a hot airport and a hot hospital. I could not imagine being in a hospital and not having air conditioning.
They don't have air conditioning in hospitals?
Only in their operating rooms and intensive care units. But I've seen pictures and videos of people in hospitals that are staying the night in hospitals and have fans blowing on them, and it looks like they're soaking wet, covered in sweat, and they are. I mean, there's studies out there that show you sleep at 73 degrees and you get a better, healthier night's sleep. You extend your life expectancy. There's just better health outcomes, but they're so convinced that this CO2, this trace gas in the atmosphere, that's a byproduct when you burn fossil fuels to make electricity. They're so convinced that CO2 is dangerous to the climate. It makes up 0.04% of our atmosphere. They drink their Perrier that has higher concentrations of CO2 than what's in the atmosphere, and they don't realize that it's not killing them. It's necessary for life on Earth, but they've just been convinced by their political elites, these self-righteous globalist elites, that hey, we've got to decarbonize. If we're going to save the planet, we have to decarbonize, which is the silliest thing really on Earth. It's a gift. It makes life possible. We actually need more of it in the environment. Food production is increasing because this natural fertilizer is in the environment, and it's still a trace gas.
It's interesting. I always thought it was so human, and so of us to think that we can control the environment. Right?
It really is. Yeah, it really. And I don't want to give anybody any ideas, especially people on the left, but you look at the water vapor in the atmosphere is increasing as we build more lakes for water storage, for water reservoirs. That actually increases humidities around the area where we build those lakes. Mm-hmm. And yet there's not a call to go net zero H2O, which is it's a actual heat trapping gas in the atmosphere, and it's about 7 times more prevalent than CO2, also necessary for life on Earth. And that's when you really start to get into it. They're just about controlling every aspect of our lives. They're very Malthusian. They want us using less energy, less prosperity, and live lives like people lived 500 years ago.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be dead by the time that all comes around, so I'm not living in a cave, although they're cool. So there's that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, there is that. You burn a lot of wood and you find coal and you burn that inside the cave, and so the air quality is actually, pretty poor when you need to actually cook and eat something. But you look at what we've done here in the United States. We've reduced harmful pollution nearly 80% over the last 5 decades. We're world leaders in clean air. We're number one when it comes to access to clean and safe drinking water. And you only do that in a country that has economic prosperity. That environmental leadership and economic prosperity go hand in hand, and you don't have economic prosperity without affordable and reliable energy. And that only comes from natural gas, coal, and nuclear.
It's amazing because they blame us. The French were blaming us for their heat wave. And I'm like, have you seen India or China? Because I don't know. If you look around the neighborhood, you might find someone who's polluting far more than we are. But America's the big guy on the block. America's the one that everybody, in my humble opinion, wants to be. And so they come after us. And, there's that. I think it's waning, though. And the World Bank, they're in on all of this stuff, too. I know nothing about the World Bank. I'm admitting it now. But apparently they have this whole climate finance target. And they're abandoning it. What does that mean, that they're abandoning their climate finance target? Does that mean that they're like, you know what? Maybe we can't control the environment and it's cyclical and the polar bears will come back?
Which is so funny because in their announcement, they're like spinning it like they changed the climate, they fixed it, they're done, it's all good now, which is laughable. The World Bank is this bank of leading economic countries, with the United States being the largest shareholder and the largest contributor to the World Bank, that goes out, and the World Bank goes out and is really, its goal is to reduce poverty and grow economies. That's its core mission. But what they did is they embraced political agendas, and they said, we're only going to loan countries to money that aren't developing infrastructure based on hydrocarbons. So they're only going to loan money to countries that are going to put up wind and solar, which are unreliable, they're intermittent, they're expensive, and they just don't, you can't have a growing economy and end poverty with wind and solar. It's just not going to happen. It's never happened. You actually increase the poverty when you embrace those forms of expensive and unreliable electricity. And so pressure from Scott Bessent and the Trump administration said, you need to abandon these targets. You need to get back to your core mission of ending poverty and growing economies. And you only do that with energy.
Yeah. Well, I will say shout out to Denmark for all of their windmills. They seem to have done a pretty good job with it. But that's what I think of when I think of Denmark. I think of what I was taught as a little kid. They wear wooden shoes and they have a lot of windmills, and they got a big dike around it that keeps all the water out. Those are the three things I know about Denmark. I do know more, but I'm just saying. Can we talk about the windmill thing? Because you mentioned it twice. I live at the Jersey Shore, and they were going to. I remember not that long ago when we had all these whales on the beach. There was one not just south of us here that came up, this huge, beautiful creature, and it's dead, and it hadn't been attacked or anything. And we had dolphins showing up on the beach as well, and they kept saying it has nothing to do with the drilling. It has nothing to do. We're not messing up their sonar at all. It has nothing to do with that. But when they stopped, we stopped seeing the carcasses as well. So they were lying, weren't they?
No, they absolutely were. I mean, the noise that happens when you are basically pounding the ocean floor, you're essentially you're pounding essentially these concrete poles into the ground, and you can do that over and over and over again, and that emits noise in the ocean. It throws off the guidance, the hearing, the sound, the sonar of these animals, and it kills them. I mean, they literally, like you said, you've seen it. I visited there before in Rhode Island. At that point in time, there was the Block Island wind farm. They had 5 massive turbines installed right off of this tourist area. No surprise that only one of the turbines worked at the time and was generating electricity. The high voltage power lines kept floating to the surface. I mean, you're talking about a sandy, loose soil floor that they're supposed to be resting on. They would float to the top. You look at the masts of these wind turbines, oil leaking all down them. They are an environmental disaster. It has to be replaced and replenished with massive amounts of oil to lube them. And that oil dissipates into the environment. It doesn't just go away. It blows in the wind, it blows into the ocean, it blows on the land for those that are onshore, or it runs down the mast into the water directly, and you can see it. Or they'll go out there and they'll clean them with high-pressure washers and just run it right off into the water. They're not capturing it. They're not wiping these things with blankets and capturing the oil. It's just going into the ocean. Absolute environmental disaster. It's destroying the water. It's destroying the animals. And that's what they are. They're a massive destruction of habitat. You think the left would be concerned about the loss of habitat for endangered species, but they're not.
No, and I always used to, every time those stories came up, I would always tag PETA in them. Hey, PETA, where are you? What's going on? How come nobody's upset that here's yet another dead whale or here's 2 more dead dolphins? Like, how come you guys aren't upset about this? And it was just silence. That's how I knew they were lying. When they're silent and you don't...
Too.
Oh, Greenpeace, yes. Greenpeace as well. Where were they in all of this? That's how you know they're
I thought
lying.
they were all about saving the whales, and it's only certain whales, only the whales that the Japanese, are hunting. It's no longer the whales that are being destroyed by coastal wind that produces unreliable and very expensive electricity. You can't do it without subsidies. That's why you're going to see the construction of new projects decrease significantly, because they just lost their federal production tax credits, which is a huge boost to them. You're just going to see a massive decline because they can't do it without subsidies.
Yeah. So where do we go from here, I think is the question. Like, where do we go? So everybody's like, oh, solar, solar, solar. And I'll tell you, I'm not a huge fan of solar just because the people across the street from us have it. And their solar panels, they had one fire on the solar panels on the roof of the house. And then they had another one downstairs, I guess, where it's in their basement, where I guess it's kept, or there must be batteries down there or something. There was another one down there. And I'm like, well, that's just not a very good advertisement for solar. That's right across the street from me. So, solar's great, but they get the actual solar panels get destroyed if you live in an area with hail, right? So what is the answer to all of this? If you could be in charge of everything, what would you decide on for America's energy and trying to be as clean as possible, obviously?
Yeah, well, we continue, and I've testified in front of Congress numerous times, and instead of all the technology the Chinese steal from us, it would be nice if they would utilize our pollution control technology. They don't. You look in Southern California, and 60% of the pollution that falls in Southern California is Asian air pollution. You could take all the cars off the road in California, and the air quality would not improve. So we really need to be calling on our trading partners to improve air quality, to get to a point to it actually improves human health, like we've done here in the United States. We've actually gone too far. But our grid should be built on reliability. We should favor reliable electric generation, but it hasn't. And if you look at the grids around the country, they favor wind and solar. They are massively subsidized. They can sell electricity at certain times of the day at a negative price, and they're still making money because taxpayers are propping them up. So if I had my way, our grids would favor reliability. We would have a ton more nuclear. We've got 3 plants that have just reached criticality as a massive goal for the Trump administration by July 4th. They've done it, and there may be a 4th that reaches criticality, which means it can self-replicate the production process of creating electricity or medical isotopes, which I think is incredible. Not many people know that nuclear energy, you can get medical isotopes for the treatment of cancer, where you're actually going in and killing the cancer and not healthy cells. I mean, this is going to be an incredible advent for improving human health here in the United States. We're actually going to cure cancer, and it's going to be done with medical isotopes from nuclear energy. You get great clean energy from nuclear as well, but we need more natural gas. We need coal. There's actually great commodities that come out of coal ash. Things like neodymium, which is used in magnets, which are used in electric vehicles. So there's really some great technology that we've developed from our waste, but we need a lot more coal, we need more natural gas, and we need more nuclear. And that's the direction that we're heading in the current administration, and that means we should see a reduction in price. But the utilities have got to abandon their political agendas, just like the World Bank has done, just like the UN is doing, how they've withdrawn the kind of this business as usual, which turned out to be the worst case scenario of a climate model. And they kind of came out and said, well, it's never going to happen. We were exaggerating a little bit. It's implausible. It's impossible is what it is. But every single scary headline that we've seen over the last 2.5 decades, every energy curriculum in 6 states is mandated on this worst case scenario that the UN has just retreated on. So we launched a website called they-knew.com that shows all of the headlines and the studies that are still boasting. It's over 60 studies have been published in the last 2 months boasting about we're going to have this catastrophic climate crisis based on a model that has been withdrawn by the United Nations.
Well, they move on. I think they get very passionate. They try to force people into a box. And when they go into the box initially and then they push back. They always overplay their hand. Always, always, always. And they push too far. And I think that's what we're seeing here is they just push too far. And if you want coal, my house is from the 1880s, and there's a coal bin in the basement with coal in it. So I'm hoping if we bring it back, maybe I could sell it. like on Facebook Marketplace or something?
I guarantee that you could. It's a valuable commodity. People still use it to heat their homes in the United States. So it is an incredibly valuable commodity. It generates amazing clean electricity. It's produced more responsibly. If you ever get an opportunity to tour any of the coal mines, I would jump at it. West Virginia, Kentucky. I've been to several out in eastern Wyoming. Absolutely beautiful. The reclamation that they come in and do after the process. It's incredibly dense energy, and that's one thing I advocate for is affordable, reliable, and dense energy. And the most dense energy on the planet right now is nuclear. Then you follow by coal and natural gas. The amount of land that they take to produce an equivalent amount of electricity. For solar, it's 27 times the amount of land. And for wind, it takes up 75 times the amount of land to produce an equivalent amount of electricity. But that's only if the weather's cooperating.
Right.
You need massive battery storage. And you look, electric generation costs about $1 billion for a gigawatt, whether it's natural gas, nuclear, coal, wind, solar, batteries. They all cost about $1 billion. But wouldn't you rather spend $1 billion on something that works around the clock? I mean, batteries are $1 billion for a gigawatt, but they store electricity for 2 hours. The last time I checked, storms in New Jersey last a little bit longer than 2 hours. It's not a grid that we want. That's certainly not affordable and reliable. It's very expensive, and it's completely dependent on a Chinese supply chain.
Well, I have to tell you, I said we were going to do good news after the top of the hour, and to me, this is good news because pulling back on the whole climate change baloney, I think is a good thing. And then they're going to move on to another part of my life that they want to control and change because it's bad. But I just think Americans are just not having it anymore. I just get that feeling with all of this. We're done. We're over it. I'm tired. I am tired of people screaming in my face all the time. And I just think people are just not going to have it. So, Jason Isaac, thank you so much for joining me. It was really good talking to you. Find him at Isaac for Energy, FOR Energy on X, and give him a follow. Have a wonderful Independence Day.
Yeah, happy Independence Day. Go celebrate 250 years of American energy and American dominance.
There you go. I love it. Thank you so much. More coming up on 1210 WPHT.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com. Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Ethos.
Microsoft is tapping Chevron for a long-term deal to provide natural gas-fired power for a proposed data center campus in West Texas that will cost more than $7 billion. Chevron announced that Project Kilby is expected to begin generating power by 2028, eventually producing up to 2.67 gigawatts of electricity for the data center campus, the equivalent of powering around 2 million homes. I'm Jason Brooks.
If you own a small business, the pressure never lets up. Something's always coming at you. That's why business owners turn to LendSeek for funding.
I don't need promises. I need options. LendSeek's AI platform showed me real funding choices. Now I can cover payroll, handle taxes, and go after growth opportunities without the daily stress.
Up to $5 million with funding in as fast as 24 hours. No upfront costs. No prepayment penalties. Start ready, stay ready. LendSeek.com. LendSeek.com.
This year, America celebrates 250 years. 2.5 centuries of courage, sacrifice, and family stories passed down from one generation to the next. Hi, I'm Nick Mako.
And I'm Adam Baselogger, founders of Legacy Box. Your family's piece of the American story is sitting in an attic or closet right now, trapped on aging VHS tapes, camcorder tapes, film reels, and fading photos.
Those boxes hold moments you can never recreate. Your wedding day, your children's voices when they were little, grandparents coming back to life on screen.
Over 2 million families have trusted Legacy Box. And we've just partnered with the USO to digitize fragile handwritten letters from World War II, helping preserve American history for future generations.
As America turns 250, remember that your family is a part of the American story. Preserving those voices, faces, and moments is a part of your responsibility to the next generation. Don't let them disappear on your watch.
Visit legacybox.com/radio for our amazing America 250 sale. That's legacybox.com/radio to save.
For a complete list of Talk Radio 1210 WPHT's contest rules, go to 1210WPHT.com/rules.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT from the Piazza Auto Group Studios. Experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations.
Boy, did you ever think that this song from the 70s by John Denver would be everywhere now? And like people all over the world would be singing it. And what's interesting is I saw a video probably from like 2 years ago from Scotland, and they were in a bar and everybody was singing this song. They sing this and they sing Sweet Caroline all over the world. I don't know why. But this is the song of our men's soccer team. And everybody sings it. I still love that they kneel and pray, but they won, so now they're going to the Sweet 16. So now they're moving on, but they got a red card. I don't. Listen, I was the statistician for our soccer team, the men's soccer team, when I was in high school, because I was a dork. But I did get a varsity letter for it. Even the statistician, if you're part of the team, gets a varsity letter. In a box somewhere in my attic, just the next room over, as a matter of fact. But anyway, the guy got a red card, and because he got a red card, and I've watched the video, and I kind of see why they gave him the red card, but I also kind of think it was not purposeful; it was an accident. But so he can't play in the next game, and he's like really important to the team. He's a striker. Does that make sense? Striker, I think. Oh, he is. Okay, look at that. I learned something today. He's a striker, but actually he's going to be a bench warmer for the next game. So Matt or Justin, whichever one you are, I can't tell you apart. Is this like a bad thing? Are we going to lose because of this?
could be
it's not the best
better if we had Balogun.
Right.
I'd say it's probably like a 60% bad thing.
Oh. Yeah, I'm that fan who's like, I'm gonna root for Team USA because it's Team USA. But if I can't watch a soccer game. I don't have the attention span for it. I would be on my phone in the first 5 minutes. I'd be like, it's just watching people run up and down a field. Like, that's what you're kicking a ball. It's a very low scoring game. I just don't think Americans have the attention span for it, which is why we really don't watch it. I mean, it's becoming more popular as we get more people from, Central and South America coming in here. They're really big soccer fans, so we're getting it more. People from all over the world coming in who are big soccer fans. And you're seeing it more. Whereas when I was a kid, it was just like little kids who played soccer. It was always like the game for 10-year-olds that they're the ones who played soccer. And then you had into college, you had a soccer team too, some places. And then that was it. That was the end of it.
I think the hydration break's doing a lot to kind of like break up that like 45 straight uninterrupted minutes, and people are kind of like, oh, I can digest 2 20-minute like 4 22-minute chunks than they can like a full 45 minutes.
So I heard about this hydration break thing, okay? So apparently this started in another game when it was really hot, and so they had to be hydrated, so this hydration thing. Because soccer is not, and I had no intentions of talking about soccer here, by the way, but we went off on a tangent. But it is good news that they won, so that's a good thing. But Americans use it, of course, for commercial breaks, because they got to get the commercials in. Whereas baseball and football are kind of engineered around to accommodate so many breaks an hour for advertisements, and soccer isn't. And so some of the teams are not super happy about it. They don't like that stopping, that break in the action. They're not happy about it. And I thought you would kind of like a break in the action so you can kind of, relax, get your breath back, recharge. But apparently they're not super happy about it. But welcome to America, where we got to pay the bills. If you were in England, you have to buy a license to watch your TV because they don't have advertisements. So we have advertisements that someone else pays for, and then I don't need a license to watch TV. That's the way I look at it. All right, let's go into some more good news. I absolutely love this story. And it's such a Pennsylvania story, and I'm talking about what happened with, and we're going to talk to Chris Tremoli about this, with the Great American Fair. And can I just say, I absolutely love that McCormick and Fetterman got together across the aisle. And Pennsylvania, I have to say, they're like old school politicians who can come together for the greater good, and I super love that. So I just want to play this piece, and we're going to delve into this more with Chris coming up in about half an hour. But I wanted to play this piece. This is Senator McCormick's chief of staff. His name is Mark. They didn't give me any more information than Mark, talking about the exhibit for Pennsylvania, which had nothing in it. And a bunch of people got together, and it was Fetterman and McCormick who kicked it off and made the phone calls and got it done. And I just wish more of America could be like Pennsylvania in this regard. So here is Senator McCormick's, chief of staff, Mark.
Hi, everyone. This is unbelievable. We're in our booth. As of Saturday, there was nothing, and Senator McCormick and Senator Fetterman stepped in, and this guy, Jeff, stepped in with all these incredibly beautiful flags. I think we have the nicest booth on the mall. We've had an army of volunteers come down here, and now look, you have Pennsylvanians and people from all over the country seeing what Pennsylvania is all about. The flags, the food, lots of other stuff. It's amazing. It was a great volunteer citizens effort to get from Saturday to where we are now. Unbelievable.
I'm just honored to be involved in such a thing. I love to do exhibits like this, and so for me, it's an honor and a pleasure.
Well, thank you.
It's great. I'm a big believer. If you ask people to do things, you tell them exactly what you need, people will step up to the plate. And Pennsylvanians all across said, yeah, we're going to step up to the plate. And because it was bipartisan, it really helped. That was a really, really good thing. And Fetterman said he was talking to Alan Horowitz, six-man center in Philadelphia, and he said, he's a Republican, I'm a Democrat, but we're here today because we want all of you one day to be millionaires. And this is something else where they got together and they were talking about the Trump accounts. And that's just another example of how Pennsylvania, the senators work together. They got the Great American State Fair booth up. They made phone calls. They got all these different companies, and they said there was food. You've got a Noble's amusement park bench, a replica Liberty Bell, potato chips. There's so many great potato chip companies in Pennsylvania, and there's other ones sending more. You've got the flags that were donated. There's Christmas trees that were there because the Pennsylvania Farm Bureau, a lot of Christmas trees are grown in Pennsylvania, one of the largest producers of Christmas trees. And Beth Ann Basio is a Christmas tree farmer in Fayette County, and she drove 3.5 hours to drop off a tree to display in the center of the exhibit section for Pennsylvania. They had a U.S. Steel gave them a penny press machine where kids could press a penny. Remember, you were kids, you get like a road stop, you could press a penny. And they had Middlesworth chips made in Snyder County, Crayola crayons from Easton. Utz and Martin's are sending chips as well. There were pamphlets about Gettysburg. As I said, the Farm Bureau was involved. They had anthracite coal and a drill bit used for fracking on loan from Congressman Dan Moiser in Luzerne. And it just went on. And I think it was just so wonderful how they got this together. And we're going to go into it a little bit more with Chris Tremoli, as I said, about why it took this effort to get it together, and why Governor Shapiro said it could not be done and they weren't going to do it. But I want to go back to you guys, to the two senators working together, which is part of my I promised you I have good news coming up. As I said, Fetterman was talking to Alan Horowitz, six-man center in Philadelphia, and he said, he's a Republican, I'm a Democrat, but we're here today because we want all of you to one day be millionaires. And he's talking about the Trump accounts, which both Fetterman and McCormick are pushing. And this is the thing I love about John Fetterman, and I cannot believe I'm saying this, but I don't care about your party. I vote for person, I don't vote for party. And I would have never voted for Fetterman. I never would have voted for that man because I thought that's a train wreck. But he's turning out to be one of the most common sense people in Congress. I'm sure the Democrats hate him, but he does vote with Democrats most of the time. But he looks at this and he can see that Trump accounts are a good thing. They're the savings accounts created by the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, which, by the way, 1 year old right now. It was signed into a law on July 4th of 2025. So basically a year old. And 1 year after signing the legislation, the accounts will open for enrollment on Saturday, on the 4th of July. And McCormick said there's a way to make sure everybody takes advantage of growing the economy. And it's also a great step forward for our country. It's not a partisan issue. In other words, there's no politics. The idea is to create opportunity for every single person. All U.S. children under 18 with a valid Social Security number are eligible to establish a Trump account. Parents or legal guardians can open and manage accounts on behalf of their children, and friends and family people can donate. Employers can donate up to $5,000 per year to a child's account. Babies born from January 1st of 25 to December 31st, 28 will get $1,000 from the Treasury to start their accounts. So each kid, even if you never put anything into it, the kid will at least have $1,000 in the account that is at least earning interest, so that they'll have something when they come to 18 years old. McCormick said, in the last 15 years, it's been the best 15 years in modern history, maybe in the history of humanity, for people that had assets. So what this is attempting to do is to create a mechanism for wealth creation for everybody, no matter where you start. Everybody has the opportunity. And so I think making these permanent, but also thinking about other mechanisms like the child care tax credit, which also passed in the Working Families Tax Cut Act, mechanisms which we can transfer wealth from people that have lived the American dream and been very fortunate to the people who have had the less opportunity. I think the Trump accounts are a really good idea. I do. I just look at it though as like somebody else I'm paying for. I'm sorry. I don't have kids. I pay $20,000 a year in property taxes. I have no idea where that money goes. I have no clue. They'll plow the street, and that's every now and then. But I don't understand. You know, based on that, like every kid coming out of school in the state of New Jersey should be like Elon Musk smart for that kind of cash, and they're not. They're big fat dummies. Fetterman said he will be signing his children up for Trump accounts. There's a name involved that might turn or make people skeptical, but do not fall into the political trap. This is a valuable thing. He said this isn't some radical thing. This is a well-established kind of vehicle. You don't have to overthink it. Again, Fetterman's being common sense. When do we fall to up is down and down is up? It's crazy. McCormick's office said 1.4 million kids are eligible for this other program, which is $250 or more through federal seed investment and the Susan and Michael and Susan Dell Foundation. This is a $250 investment contribution, which is available that they're going to get. It's available to children who are 10 years old and younger, living in households at or below $150,000 in median family income. So this is for the kids who don't qualify for the Trump account. The Dells, you know, those evil, rich, horrible billionaires that the left hates so much, is standing up and saying, okay, we're going to give our money to kids who don't qualify for this, who are under the age of 10, who come from the poor, you know, 150,000 or less, which that's good cash depending on where you live, right? We're going to give them that money. Terrible, horrible, awful billionaires are giving them that money. And of course they get no credit for it. But I thought it was good news, so I wanted to share it with you. Because we did a lot of bad news and not so great news in the beginning of the hour, or beginning of the show. So we'll do that. Chris Tremoli coming up after the top of the hour. We're going to go into the state fair and what happened with Pennsylvania, coming up in detail with him on 1210 WPHT.
The working families of La Una Labor District Council of Pennsylvania, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia are proud contributors to all aspects of growth in this great city. The Labor District Council provides safe, well-trained, productive workers who enable projects to be done on time and under budget. We appreciate our signatory contractors and their commitment to fairness and equality. Laborers, we're building a better future today.
Brought to you by the Laborers District Council Licit Fund.
I'm Paul Cozy from Cozy Jewelers, and we're not your typical jewelry store. We're a family-owned jeweler and manufacturer, crafting nearly every piece right here in-house. When you shop with us, you're getting a curated, custom design experience, not just a selection of cases on a shelf. That means every piece is personal, crafted with care, and made to last. If you want something different, truly unique, and made just for you, this is fine jewelry the way it's meant to be. Come see us in Newtown Square and step up to the 5th C. Color, cut, clarity, carat, and cozy.
Summer means vacations, road trips, and spending more time on the road with family and friends. Before your next adventure, make sure your vehicle is ready with United Tire's 4th of July sale. Through July 3rd, receive an instant $104 savings on any set of 4 tires, plus free road hazard coverage on trusted brands like Michelin, Goodyear, Continental, and more. It's one of the best tire deals of the summer and a great way to help keep your family safe on the road. Visit your local United Tire today. Don't drive alone, drive United. For more expert appliance shopping advice, here's National Appliance Warehouse's own appliance guru.
Any appliance retailer can say they offer the lowest prices and claim they deliver the best customer experience. But how do they hold themselves accountable? At National Appliance Warehouse, we use Price Assure to guarantee we're honoring our lowest price promise. We'll expertly help you navigate over 100 brands on display to ensure you select the perfect appliances, treating you like friends or family throughout. And within 24 hours of our skilled professionals delivering and installing your appliances, a National Appliance Warehouse associate will call to make sure you're happy. If your other appliance retailer didn't do that, it might be time to switch to National Appliance Warehouse.
The 4th of July mega sale is underway at National Appliance Warehouse. Save 41% on select GE appliances. Browse an unmatched collection of GE, Cafe, GE Profile, and Monogram appliances. Click nationalappliancewarehouse.com or visit their showroom in tax-free Wilmington today.
You don't need another opinion, just the facts.
What caused that crash on the Schuylkill? Will it rain before the kids' game? What happened at the school board meeting last night?
At KYW News Radio, we don't take sides. We take notes, delivering the information you need to make the best decisions for your family.
The news you need whenever you need it.
Depend on KYW News Radio, Philadelphia's most trusted news leader for more than 60 years.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000.
Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief took care of Eric's problem.
And now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
D&K Appliances is a family-owned and operated business for 3 generations located in Newtown Square and Flowertown. D&K Appliances offers one-stop shopping, providing delivery, installation, and service of top brands like GE, Thermador, Wolf, Bosch, Speed Queen, KitchenAid, and Whirlpool for your kitchen or laundry. D&K Appliance sales associates are industry experts, supporting customers every step of the way. Visit D&K Appliances, the dependable difference. Newtown Square and Flowertown showrooms, or visit DKappliances.com.
Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet? Do it today at 1210 WPHT. WPHT.
Only in America. Only Yeah, you don't want me to sing. I like that song. All right, a little bit more good news. One of the teens that is wanted in the killing of Penn State student Billy Schmidt has been arrested in Colorado. He was found hiding out at a distant relative's home, thousands of miles away. Azubair Outen Fleming, 16 years old, was captured in Colorado Springs by the U.S. Marshal Service Violent Task Force. He tried to deny his identity, but they still found that it was him. He is accused, as I said, of killing Billy Schmidt. It's for his cell phone. So somebody had something to do with this. Somebody got this young man out to Colorado. Now, he was arrested just a couple of hours after his stepdate, Dante Abdul-Malik, was arrested for allegedly helping Outen Fleming escape the East Coast for Colorado. Somebody had to rat him out. And after, people are like, I would never do that to my kid. I would hide my kid. I would do everything to help my kid, because it's terrible. It's going to ruin their life. And I'm like, yeah, but your kid ruined somebody else's life. Like, if we ever did something, like, I knew my parents would march us down to turn ourselves in and say, you know what? My parents always told us, you make adult decisions, you make adult choices, you and take part in adult actions, you have to suffer the adult consequences. That's it. So we always knew, my father always said, do not call me. If you get arrested, don't call me, because I'm not coming to get you. Not happening. You got so many friends, call one of your friends. I'm not coming. It was just such a sad thing. This kid's a senior at Penn State, and he was going to be a senior, and they stole his phone, walking home from an NBA Finals watch party. They approach him, they take his phone, they punch him, and go through his pockets. And so he chases after them, pleading with them to get the phone, and one of them threw it down the street, and they shot him. Turned around, shot him. And you just see these stories over and over and over again, and I don't know what their story is. I don't know what their home life is like or anything along those lines. We still have the one guy at large, but it's just, there's got to be something going on. I think we need more dads in these kids' lives. I don't know if these kids had dads a lot involved in their life, but I think we need more dads in the home. Kasim Smith is still at large, 4 foot 10 inches tall, about 110 pounds. He's a resident of Wilmington, Delaware. but he's known to hang out at the age of 16 in, Philadelphia, because every parent allows that, especially at night when you should be home. Anyway, coming up, Chris Tremoli joining us here on 1210 WPHT.
In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand. Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today. An Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
If you own a business, you've heard it all. From fast funding to easy approvals, everyone says the same thing. LendSeek is different. We show you what you actually qualify for. LendSeek's AI-enabled platform matches you with funding options with no guesswork. Up to $5 million in as fast as 24 hours. If you've been in business over a year, doing at least $50,000 per month, apply for free with zero out-of-pocket costs and access to over 100 lenders. Start ready, stay ready. LendSeek.com. LendSeek.com.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-284-1238. 800-284-1238. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-284-1238.
Hey, this is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. I've been talking about myself for all these years. Now it's time for you to hear from one of our great clients.
Investor Schooling lives up to the promises. Larry's a great teacher, teaches about the whole new approach to thinking about money. I've taken to heart many of the things that he's taught me, and my financial life has improved.
Come to Investor Schooling, and you could be just like Charlie and change your financial life. Go to investorschooling.com. We will see you Thursday.
Oh, the book lover's heart. It's too healthy for words.
And the nature lover's heart, it flies high with the birds.
See the art lover's heart, throbbing vibrant with color.
And the food lover's heart, it's as sweet as a cruller.
Hear the music lover's heart, how it's always in tune.
And the night lover's heart shines as bright as the moon.
But the heart of someone with pulmonary hypertension, PH for short, labors. PH puts unbearable stress on the heart, which can cause death from heart failure. And it's often misdiagnosed as asthma. But with early, accurate diagnosis, new treatments are helping people with PH live longer and better. The Pulmonary Hypertension Association gives hope to PH patients and caregivers. We want people to have
a heart that is strong for a life rich and long.
We're putting our heart into finding a cure. Learn more at phassociation.org. That's phassociation.org.
Bucks County Estate Traders is celebrating 250 years of American craftsmanship and quality. Enjoy the rich history behind many of their over 16,000 pieces of furniture and decor. Complete any room, indoor and outdoor, all with the kind of craftsmanship you just don't find anymore. Right now, everything is 20 to 50% off their 4th of July sale. But hurry, it ends July 7th. Visit their Hatfield showroom or shop online at buckscountyestatetraders.com.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
From ABC News, I'm Lindsay
Davis, anchor of Prime, streaming weeknights on ABC News Live. A dangerous heat dome is raising the risk for Americans across much of the country preparing to celebrate the 4th of July holiday. New York City's Central Park logged 100 degrees today, a first in 14 years. The heat index soaring to 106. ABC meteorologist Melissa Griffin has more.
And this is extreme heat risk. That's because this is a rare, long-duration heat wave with little to no relief at night. So even those overnight temperatures still quite warm, all the way from the Northeast down to Atlanta in that extreme risk, and we're not going to see that relief for several more days.
Final preparations for America's 250th celebrations are underway in Washington, D.C. That includes heightened security. ABC's Pierre Thomas on the extra measures in place.
19 miles of fencing is being installed as we speak. The other thing, for the first time, authorities are saying, perhaps ever, in order to get on the National Mall, you have to go through a security checkpoint, including a magnetometer.
In D.C., federal prosecutors announced U.S. Olympian David Hearn has been indicted in connection with alleged vandalism at the Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool. Hearn is accused of destroying parts of the pool's new lining. Hearn denies doing anything violent or removing it. A pair of daredevils that scaled the Empire State Building spire yesterday continue to be a spectacle, this time on the ground, appearing in a Manhattan court today, facing multiple felony counts. They were given supervised release. ABC's Aaron Katersky says the so-called proposal may have been all for show.
We talked to Ivan Kuznetsov's father in Russia, and he said that the couple is already married, that this was all something of a stunt. So if people were excited that this was an elaborate proposal, something perhaps to mimic, know that it's already taken care of, it's already done.
ABC News has learned the couple may have spent the night inside the building the night before. You're listening to ABC News.
Hot summer days and high energy bills are on the way. Upgrade your home's old leaky windows this month with Window Nation at 50% off all window styles. Yes, 50% off new, beautiful, energy-efficient windows, plus 0 down, 0 interest, and no payments for 2 years. Call now, 866-200-8670 or windownation.com. In select markets, trust our family of brands, New South Window and ArmorView. That's 866-200-8670 or windownation.com to book a consultation.
Ever wonder why you have insurance for your car or home, but not your digital life? Meet WebRoot Total Protection, your digital bodyguard that includes antivirus, identity protection, VPN, cloud backup, and more. With plans for individuals and families, WebRoot takes the guessing game out of cybersecurity so you can get back to living your best life online. Go to webroot.com/protect and get 60% off today. That's webroot.com/protect to get 60% off today. Live a better digital life with WebRoot, because peace of mind shouldn't be optional.
I'm Lindsay Davis. For the latest on today's headlines, be sure to watch Prime tonight, starting at 7 Eastern on ABC News Live. Now with more news, here's Michelle Franzen.
New details concerning the health of Senator Mitch McConnell. Dispatch audio reviewed by ABC News shows emergency responders went to McConnell's home to attend an unconscious person who appeared to be in cardiac arrest. ABC's Selena Wang says his office has not updated his status.
The audio doesn't say who the person is, but this incident happened on the same day that McConnell was hospitalized on June 14th. What we do hear in the audio is medical personnel being sent to Senator Mitch McConnell's home to attend to an unconscious person who appeared to be in cardiac arrest. Take a listen to just part of that dispatch audio here.
Secretary Communications, East Army Supervisor, CPR in progress.
EMS to respond. For cardiac arrest.
McConnell is never directly named in the audio, and a spokesperson for McConnell has declined to comment on it, giving no update on his current condition.
A week after the double earthquakes in Venezuela, crews still finding people alive. A security guard pulled from a collapsed shopping mall 8 days later, and some crews are pulling back, but families are digging by hand to find loved ones. 12-year-old Carlos was rescued after 5 days. His cousin, Maria Heredia, in Miami.
There's all this bittersweet feeling of happiness because he's alive, but also knowing there's people still there calling out for help.
Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Hot summer days and high energy bills are on the way. Upgrade your home's old leaky windows this month with Window Nation at 50% off all window styles. Yes, 50% off new, beautiful, energy-efficient windows, plus 0 down, 0 interest, and no payments for 2 years. Call now, 866-200-8670 or windownation.com. In select markets, trust our family of brands, New South Window and ArmorView. That's 866-200-8670 or windownation.com to book a consultation.
When I grow up,
I want to be a new pair of blue jeans. When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer. When I grow up, I want to be a glass countertop in a new home. When I grow up, I want to be a kid's best birthday present. When I grow up, I want to be a football stadium. When I grow up, I want to be a warm fleece on a cold day. When I grow up, I want to be a fancy backsplash. I want to be a bike that races around the country. When I grow up, I want to be a bench on a forest trail. I want to be a rocking chair on a sunny porch. I want to be a skyscraper. I want to be When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. A public service advertisement brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
WPHT, HD, WOGL, HD3, Philadelphia. From the Piazza Auto Group Studios, experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Now, The Drive at 5. 30 minutes of non-stop talk from Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
From Jersey roots to the nation's air, she cuts through noise like she just don't care. Truth on the table, no sugar, no spin. If you wanna talk real, yeah, Mary's dialed in. Headlines breaking, but she's breaking it down. While the rest plays safe, she's the best in town. From across the globe to your ride home drive, she's got the facts and the fire live. She'll never waver, yeah, she'll never falter. Turn up the volume, it's time for Mary Walter. It's Mary Walter Radio. Let's get into it.
Well, thank you so much. Newman, you the best. All right, last hour. We're into it here, and I know some people are off tomorrow. Tomorrow, though, I will be very quickly, and then we'll go to Chris. First, I start out on Wake Up America at 7:05 on Newsmax TV. Then I'm back here 3 to 6, and then at 6:15 I'm back on Newsmax with Ed Henry, but on N2, which is their streaming channel, and you can find that on YouTube. Just go to Newsmax 2, the number 2 live, and it'll pop right up. All right, let's go to one of my favorites, Chris Tremoli, editor and commentary columnist for the Washington Examiner. You can find him at Chris W. Tremo, Tremo, over on X. Chris, how are you? Welcome to the show.
Hi, man. That is a fantastic entrance song that you had there. I was pretty jammed to it on hold. I was just waiting for you.
Well, the trick is you see, because Mike Opelka, who I love, but he's a show-off, and so he does a lot of intros and all this music and all this stuff, because he's got the time to. So, good for him. Actually, I really love honestly really like Mike Opelka. I'm just giving him a hard time. So I said, we could do our own intros. I'm doing mine, and I had one from a show I used to do, and it was just a mashup of all different Mary songs, right? Okay. And we used it for years. It was all different, tons of Mary, because there's a lot of Mary songs out there. So we just mashed them together. And I said, you guys, I could have an intro song too. And I gave it to them, and apparently they didn't like it. And so so Newman just did that. So it was like, I got a better one, and he put a better one together. So
that was absolutely fantastic. And I kind of actually always pictured you as like a proud Mary as for a song for like your intro. When you're talking about Mary songs.
Yeah,
that rock with you a lot, but this was pretty cool.
Yeah,
very good.
It's very good. Yeah, Newman, thank you so much. Kudos. All right. So we were talking about the Great American State Fair, and you apparently wrote a piece about it. Is it out yet?
It is not coming out tomorrow.
Coming out.
I did ask this great radio host to quote for it, and she was willingly and able to do so, and that's you, Mary, so I appreciate that.
Of course, and I managed to do it while you were somewhere. And yesterday, I had such a crazy day. Yesterday was just insane schedule wise for me. Well, this whole week has just been insane schedule wise, and I'm like on my phone going, oh, I think I typed it to you. I think I sent you an email. I sent it to you email, and I was like because I had to go on the air. So I was like, I have 10 minutes. I can do this in 10 minutes. And I did it in 10 minutes, but I was flattered to be asked. So the Great American State Fair.
Out of the park, so I appreciate that.
Aw, thank you. And you could feel free to edit my words. It would be fine. I would not care, nor would I say, he edited my words. I would not do that. So I would be totally fine with it. So the Great American State Fair, I've heard people say there's nobody there. There's nobody there. I'm like, well, there's 50 booths to visit. There's a lot. And last night they opened it up and allowed they allowed people to watch the soccer game, right? On the Great Lawn, right? They had that going on there, which I think was wonderful. It's better than having them running through the streets, right? And quote unquote celebrating. And nothing was damaged from what I've read. I haven't seen where anything was damaged. Everybody had a great time. And to me, that's kind of like what a fair is like. People are upset that there's no food, like there's not the typical, like corn on the cob and candy and apples and cotton candy and all that stuff. People are upset that there's not that. There are illegal food trucks, which is awesome. Not all of them are illegal, but there's quite a few food trucks around the enclosure where you can get food. They're smart. They're going to go do that. So I can understand where people are saying, it's not that big of a deal. It's not as packed as they had wanted it to be. And I don't know if that's true or not, because some pictures I see and it's empty, and other pictures I see and it looks like there's a lot of people. So what's happening? Is it attracting what they wanted?
So, well, I mean, if we know anything, it's that liberals and Democrats are absolutely truthful and honest in every sense of the word and every time when talking about things related to Donald Trump, right? So I don't particularly hold – this is just kind of them trying to, once again, sabotage the joy, make things worse than they actually are, demonize Trump, vilify, criticize him. And if you look at the pictures, there people are enjoying themselves. I have not seen people going around posting up pictures saying how bad it is. Some were taking pictures, I believe, I read before the fair opened. They were saying, look how dead it is. It's just this weird Trump derangement syndrome, symptom of which they just have to be doom and gloom all the time and try to attack something that Trump did. I mean, what is the end game to that? I don't understand. I mean, it's a fair that it's not like there's pictures of Trump everywhere at these state fair honoring. It's a fair honoring the country in the 250th anniversary of our nation's history, and people are throwing an adult temper tantrum over this, or all the Schadenfreude trying to get joy out of what they perceive as low attendance. But I don't necessarily think that's the case. It seems to be drawing crowds. It seems to be people having a wonderful time there. So it's just typical nonsense as usual for the left and trying to show their unpatriotism during the American 250 celebrations.
Yeah, I think that part of taking America down is you can't love it. You can't love America because then you won't let them take it down. So they're doing our best to divide us and make us hate America. And it is definitely not as big and as crazy and patriotic as it was for 76, for the bicentennial. Like New Jersey issued special license plates that you could put on the front of your car. You didn't need your front license plate for a year. You had Crossroads of the American Revolution that you could have, right? And Coca-Cola and all, everybody made special bicentennial commercials for television, and it was a really, really big deal. And I just don't see that build up. If it weren't for the World Cup, I think it would be, it would not feel very special at all if it were not for the World Cup. It would just feel like another 4th of July weekend. So because of the World Cup, I think it feels so spectacular because of that.
I wonder, then I also wonder if, I can't speak on 76 because that was a little before my time, but I would say that during the whole World Cup, that kind of has been sort of included in the hype and the production and the celebration of the country, because in Philadelphia was a big thing going on the past couple of weeks. You saw tons of crowds, going. Right. Every time I would drive by the Arlington and Fan Fest, I would drive by Arlington, there would be throngs of people by the Rocky statue with different flags. I saw a whole bunch of Croatian people taking pictures there, Brazil. So it's just I think it's kind of been incorporated into the celebrations. I mean, in Philadelphia, we've had the Wawa Welcome America Fest, which we have every year. I went there yesterday to their annual Wawa Hoagie Day, and there was tons of people there. So I think it's going rather well. But then going back to what we were saying, though, there's just been like this incessant desire from people on the left to criticize and put this down. I mean, going back as far as the Washington Monument lighting that happened on New Year's Eve into New Year's, people were criticizing that. They criticized the UFC fight. They criticized the Nitro thing that was going on that before the UFC fight. It's just any opportunity to kind of put this down because Trump's in charge, they try to do it. And I don't think they have any credibility, in my opinion.
Yeah, and let's talk a little bit about Pennsylvania specifically. The governor, Josh Shapiro, said at the time when they were talking about... Yeah. I thought it was a nice segue. It said at the well, the support just wasn't there. A lot of Democrat-led states are just not. They're boycotting it because Trump. Right, there's Trump. That's why because there were a bunch of children. They had decided not to participate, or they failed to find a host to showcase local history. And Governor Shapiro said that the interest was just not there. And but the room at the National. I'm sorry. The room at the National Mall came together in a rush after, and we had talked earlier during the show here about Fetterman and McCormick getting together, and his office had claimed that it would run a tab of hundreds of thousands of taxpayer dollars to put this thing together. And he also said, and again, this is according to the Inquirer, he also said his administration's search for another Pennsylvania host came up short. So they couldn't find a host, someone to host it and do the work and put the thing together, I guess. No companies or other kinds of groups were interested, he said, even as businesses and local governments stepped up to fill spaces in other states. So he blamed lack of interest on the president, of course. It's Donald Trump's fault, and he blamed it on the 250 celebrations. And he said that it was never a political exercise. This was an exercise in practicality. So he's not being political. He's just being practical. He said it would have cost the state $700,000. And he said we could spend money on major events happening in Pennsylvania, including the NFL draft and all these other things, World Games, and a number of events across the state. He said, my focus is on spending the taxpayer dollars here. And his administration spent 2 or 3 weeks reaching out to businesses and to the Pennsylvania Chamber, asking if they wanted to participate. None of them did, according to Shapiro. And then when he was found out about all these people who stepped up, he goes, well, they obviously had a change of heart at the last minute, and that's fine. And this is a bipartisan effort with a Democrat and a Republican senator coming together, making phone calls, and all these people going, oh, you need help? I'm happy to help you. So I think he didn't contact anybody, in my humble opinion. I think that's a lie.
I think you're right on point there, because I would agree with you 100%. I mean, let's think about the logistics and the actuality of this. First, President Donald Trump, in the 2016 election and 2024 election, is the first Republican president to win Pennsylvania since, I think, President George Bush, maybe Reagan. I'm not exactly sure, but I know it was in the 80s. And you're going to tell me that the only Republican president to win Pennsylvania all of a sudden could not get support for a fair, mind you, that was honoring the country's 250th. This was sabotage. There's nothing more than it. Shapiro tried to be slick, and Fetterman and Senator McCormick kind of called him on it and called them on it and exposed them for it, because they look at all the companies they put together. They were able to get them. You have like small mom and pop Christmas tree shops going out, driving from Lancaster to the D.C. to put a Christmas tree because of Lancaster's reputation for Christmas tree farms. And the government of Pennsylvania can't do this. There's a difference between can't doing it and not wanting to do it. And I believe it fell on the latter for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. That woman drove, and I want to give her credit. I have her name here, Her name is Beth Ambasio. She's a Christmas tree farmer from Fayette County. She drove 3.5 hours to drop off a tree display for the center of the space. You have a replica Liberty Bell, a Nobles Amusement Park bench, hundreds of bags of potato chips from several different potato chip makers in Pennsylvania, because Pennsylvania makes great potato chips, I have to say. And they all stepped up. They're like, sure. Hershey's did not, and they said they claim it's because it was such short notice, but also because of the weather. Because of the weather, chocolate doesn't do well in this heat. So I'm like, okay, Crayola stepped up. The Farm Bureau.
Crayons don't melt in the heat. Only chocolate does.
Right. Well, crayons do melt in the heat. So I don't know if I'm buying Hershey, but I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt.
You're better than me because I'm not. So.
U.S. Steel sent a penny press machine for the kids. There were antique signs. Some man was there who brought all these antique flags and signs, Jeff Bridgman Antiques. So people, and I'm a big believer in if you tell people what you need and what you need it for, they step up. My town, where I live, everybody did, the town staggered their 250th celebrations. So you had them starting in June. Ours was June 14th. We had ours for 4 days. And so fireworks are on different nights, so it wasn't all at the same time. So you could go to different ones, right? And they came to people and they said they got good publicity. I mean, I live in a town of 3,500 people, if that. And they needed, this is how much money we need, bottom, to just do a little bit. They got twice what they asked for. And it was amazing, and it was wonderful, and there was free beer, but you still have to charge $1 because the ABC won't let you give it away for free. But people underwrote it. People underwrote the donated, and all the donations together paid for fireworks on the beach. And one guy in town owns a barbecue place, so there was that, and somebody has a Dunkin' Donuts. It was amazing. If you tell people what you want, they will come through, which is why I don't believe Shapiro. I don't believe people were asked.
Absolutely, I would 100% agree with you there.
So let me ask you, what is it in for him? Because this clearly backfired on him. Because McCormick and Fetterman coming together kind of called his bluff. Yeah. And he wants to be president. He wants to run. And Democrats are never going to run him because he's Jewish. Sorry, your party is anti-Semitic and you belong to it. So you might want to find another home. But what happens to him? This hurts him, doesn't it?
Well, especially for his presidential aspirations, especially with the sickle and hammer brigade that's kind of taking over the Democrat Party, that I definitely think that limits his chances. But overall, it makes him kind of look like, an incompetent bozo or just an agenda-driven, miserable politician with an axe to grind. Because he wasn't the only Democrat to do this. Democrats were always throughout the country were trying to sabotage. But it's embarrassing for him, and I hope it kind of bring some accountability to. I'm pessimistic that it will actually result in any political accountability in anything. I think unfortunately, after this is over, it'll kind of won't be forgotten about. Because he was already speaking today at Independence Hall with the congressional delegation that was being held at Independence Hall today in honor of the 250th Declaration of Independence, and that he was one of the politicians that was down there. So. That's kind of it. I feel like, unfortunately, he's going to get out unscathed on that, but he shouldn't, because it shows the level and the depth of the misery and the vengefulness that they want to do just because the president of the United States is Donald Trump. And I guarantee you, if it was President Biden or President Harris, he would have been able to find all kinds of people who were willing to, donate and contribute to the America 250, the Great State Fair. So. It's just sad that he did this. He's supposed to be a moderate too, which is nonsense. But the fact that he did this, and that we have a governor trying to sabotage our celebration, and then yet you can show a unity through bipartisanship, through Fetterman and McCormick, and Democrats and Republicans coming together for the greater good, which is what Shapiro is supposed to do in his role as governor, and yet he decided to put politics ahead and prioritize partisanship and ideology over the welfare of the people of the United States.
Yeah, it's interesting. They're in a bit of a pickle, aren't they? And especially the governor, being Jewish, his party doesn't like him, and they're anti-Semitic. So he's got a problem. He's got a problem there. Do you still throw your lot in with someone who hates you because of who you are, because of your religion, and because you're Jewish? So you've got that, and then you've got the super young wing of the party, the communists, the little commies that are coming up. Do you throw in with them? Or do you try to go with the more moderates who are going to try to fight the commies? And honestly, he's got to kind of throw in with the moderates because the commies are flat out anti-Semitic, hate the Jews, and will scream it loudly in their faces. Look what they did to Weiner in San Francisco, right? They came after him. Absolutely. Fierce, right? So he's kind of almost has to throw himself in with the more moderates, but this behavior isn't moderate. What John Fetterman is doing is moderate. This is not moderate behavior. So he's almost stuck, if you will.
Yeah. Well, he kind of aligned with the whole, like, the indivisible. I don't know if you're familiar. Well, you're probably familiar with the organizations like holding all these protests and No Kings. And he's kind of aligned with them, and Fetterman has been like the enemy of the indivisible Democrats, as I like to call them. So he's kind of made his political bed, so to speak, and he's got a documented record. And it'll probably be good enough in Pennsylvania, but I'm not sure it will for a national presidential aspirational role at all, because I just don't think if this should be mentioned as his agenda and his embarrassment, and it should not reflect on him well. But overall, I think that he's going to have a problem moving forward in his political career. And we look no further than what happened in the 2024 election when he was overlooked by the Vice President Harris for, of all people, as we all come to learn now, Tim Walz, and how weird and wacky that guy is. So I think he's got a little bit of predicament on his hands.
He is at least Shapiro isn't as awkward as Walz is, where he was like their answer to the alpha male, and I'm like, he kicks higher than like the chorus girl, the Rockettes in New York at Rock Center. He was just so awkward in the bouncing around on stage and the jazz hands and everything. And then when he was trying to be super manly and he couldn't load the shotgun, and I was like, oh dear God, he's gonna shoot himself. and he's changing the carburetor. I'm just working on my car. And even I know that he pulled a perfectly clean filter out of there to put another one in. And I was like, the air filter? I was like, that's perfectly clean, dude. So did they make you practice first so you knew what you were doing? Right. It was everything they do is a show. Everything they do is rehearsed. It's a production, and none of it's real. None of it's real.
It's all performative hysteria, performative politics, and theatricality. If you want to go see a good show, watch Democrats and politicians. You don't need to go to Broadway anymore.
No, exactly. And unfortunately, it's not free because I'm paying for it a lot. I'm paying for it very, very steeply. All right, Chris Tremoli, thank you so much for joining me. We look forward to the article coming out tomorrow. I'm going to put it on my refrigerator.
All right. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Have a good one.
Sure.
Talk to you. Happy 4th.
Thanks, you too. Happy Independence Day. Have a great weekend. I have exciting news coming up. Exciting news. I don't know if it's true. It's a rumor, but it's exciting. I've got that next coming up on 1210 WPHT.
You can now tune in to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the iHeartRadio app.
If you own a small business, the pressure never lets up. Something's always coming at you. That's why business owners turn to LendSeek for funding.
I don't need promises. I need options. LendSeek's AI platform showed me real funding choices. Now I can cover payroll, handle taxes, and go after growth opportunities without the daily stress.
Up to $5 million with funding in as fast as 24 hours. No upfront costs. No prepayment penalties. Start ready, stay ready. LendSeek.com. LendSeek.com.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
All right, what's the weather like out there?
It's hot. Hot, hot, hot. Real hot.
Can you tell me what it feels like?
Were you born on the sun? I said it's hot.
This is Jonathan Cans, third generation owner of Marvin E. Cans Heating and Air Conditioning. Is this how you're feeling right now? Well, don't let your house feel like a rainforest anymore. To keep your home cool, contact us at marvinecans.com. That's marvinekanze.com.
This is Jordan Lundy of Lundy Law. When we say we hope you're never the victim of a rideshare accident, we mean it. But if you should suffer a rideshare injury, we'll work quickly to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. And we mean it when we say there are never any upfront fees, ever. And we only get paid when your case is over and you get paid. Remember our name, Lundy Law, your injury lawyers. Call 1-800-LUNDY-LAW or visit lundylaw.com.
Pet parents, there are many sources to buy your pet food these days. But at Dogs and Cats Rule, we take special care in selecting our brands based on quality of ingredients, company transparency, and science-based nutrition. Coming into a Dogs and Cats Rule store with a dietary issue, we can help select the proper food. The best part of the visit is the shopping experience. That's Dogs and Cats Rule with 7 locations. For information online, visit dogsandcatsrule.pet. Dogs and Cats Rule. Shop small, shop local, shop family.
When it comes to avoiding roofing problems this summer, go with the real deal. Impriano Roofing, Siding, Windows, and Doors. Family owned and operated for over 50 years. One of the only roofing companies still run by the original family. They're the experts in the industry, no comparison. And Jack Impriano stands behind every job 100%. Experience, integrity, that's the real deal. Call 610-644-4444 for your free estimate today. The best homes have an Impriano roof.
Progressive Insurance. Protect your family, your phone, and your furry friends with life, electronic device, and pet health insurance.
Now back to the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
This is Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
And welcome back. I'm Mary Walter, and I am back with you on Monday, 3 to 6, same time zone, so same time segment. So I will be with you here Monday. So I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend planned. If you're doing anything really cool, I don't want to do that whole what are you doing this weekend thing, low hanging fruit of radio, which we could do. But if anybody's doing something really cool for the celebration, we'll be the judge of whether it's cool or not, and whether you can go on the air and tell everybody. How's that? Because if you're going to a barbecue, okay, not saying that's not fun, and I'm not saying you're not going to have a good time, but I just wonder anybody's doing something really cool. I'll have pictures on my podcast on Tuesday if we go, because it's supposed to rain. So if it doesn't rain, if they still have the fireworks, which I think they will, I'll share the pictures. But anyway, so I have news for you. All right, listen to this. First of all, well, we know that the Knicks were invited. The starting lineup of the Knicks were invited to Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's wedding, right? Well, according to Fox News, Taylor Swift, this is reported an hour ago, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce may already be married. Multiple sources told Page Six that the couple already said "I do" prior to rumored nuptials at the arena in Manhattan. So they may not have gotten married at Madison Square Garden. They may have gotten married somewhere else, but all of the focus around Madison Square Garden, and the Swifties were saying that she wasn't going to get married there. The Swifties were all saying that this is just a ruse, and it wasn't going to happen at MSG. But they are reportedly hosting a 100-guest rehearsal dinner tonight at Info6 Theater. But the rumor is that she's already married, and they'll have a wedding celebration on tomorrow as well. So the rehearsal dinner tonight, they'll have a wedding celebration tomorrow with 1,000 guests at Madison Square Garden. But the wedding itself is not going to be tomorrow, even though they're having a rehearsal dinner tonight. So intrigue. I love this. I don't know why, because I don't like either one of them. Like I don't really care, but I don't know. It's something other than like hardcore news. And if they're happy, God bless them. Like I don't wish them ill. Like people who wish them ill, I'm like, what's wrong with you? You gotta. Life is that hard that you have to wish these people ill just because they're wealthy? And are they making a mistake? I don't know, because I don't know either one of them. Anyway, here's some other news that I thought was interesting, and it's kind of good news as well. I'm trying to keep it light. The Education Department has approved a plan to cut federal loans to college programs that result in low-earning jobs. So, like, if you, like me, got your loan from a bank, not the government, you got your loan from a bank, and I had to show where I was going to college, what I was majoring in, and they had to decide if they thought that was a good investment, because they were going to invest in me and I was the investment, and was I going to be able to pay the money back? Was I a good investment? Was my plan a good investment? Which is how it's always been. But once the government got into the loan business, the whole good investment thing went right out the window. Oh, underwater basket weaving, absolutely. How much is it going to take? Oh, you need a master's in it, so like half $500,000. Absolutely, here's the money. And then of course they shockingly can't pay it back. The Department of Education announced this rule for its new student tuition and transparency system and earnings accountability. It's called STAT or state, something like that. It's got to have an acronym, you know that. In April, they said that the process had started to come up with this. The federal student loan portfolio was approaching $1.7 trillion, and they found out that students were financially worse off after graduating than if they had never attended college, because they couldn't pay the loans back. Or I think there are a lot of them who choose not to pay the loan back. They're like, nope, not feeling it. Come after me. And they don't care. They just don't care. The new rule established new eligibility criteria for higher education programs to participate in the federal direct loan program. Bachelor programs will now be required to prove that their graduates earn higher median annual earnings than the average high school graduate. So the colleges now, if they want this money, they want this taxpayer money, they're going to have to prove that their programs will leave their graduates better than if they had not gone to college. Master's programs have to prove that their graduates earn higher median annual earnings than the average bachelor degree. So you got to be better off at the end of the day and have more potential at the end of the day. If a program's graduates do not meet this threshold in 2 out of 3 consecutive award years, the program is categorized as low earning and loses eligibility for the direct loans. Now, they found that bachelor programs in religion and religious studies fall below. Only 53.3% perform, and graphic communication, only 17% perform. They're the most frequently, 53% of religion and religious studies, and 17% of graphic communications most frequently fail the earnings test. If a program cannot show that it leaves its graduates better off financially than if they had never enrolled, it should not be underwritten by taxpayers. I love this. I'm so happy about this. I love this. This is phenomenal. Thank you. How long have we been asking for somebody to be responsible with our money? And now they're going to be responsible with our money. So, of course, the NEA is ticked off because they want the money. The NEA wants that bottomless pit of money. And they argue that an earnings premium alone does not go nearly far enough to ensure that programs lead to true financial stability, and that the rule abandons advanced degree seekers, as well as unfairly penalizes essential but lower paying public service fields. So maybe you don't need a college degree to do a lot of jobs. When I applied for my first radio job, well, actually, I didn't apply, to be fair. But I've applied for jobs through in communications. Even when I was applying as a consultant, I had to prove that I had a college degree in communications. And I was like, I don't know what my degree did for me as far as that goes. I think I learned other things. And the biggest thing for me at Villanova at the time was the network. The alumni network was insane. And that's how I got several jobs, because on my resume, it said Villanova. And they're like, oh, boom, I got the interview. That was definitely good. But do you need a bachelor's degree in religion or religious studies in order to become a preacher or a priest or whatever it happens to be? Do you need it? You know, maybe that's something that can be redone, and they can figure out a way to do it so you don't need that. So, more degree programs fail. As exponentially more master's degree programs fail the earnings test. Get most notably, religion and religious study degrees, 89% of those programs fail the test. You're going to come out of a master's in religious theology or whatever it is, and you want to go become a preacher or a pastor or whatever, the odds are you're not going to make enough money in order to pay that loan back. And you're not going to be better off than if you had just gotten a bachelor's degree. You're not going to be. You would have been better off if you hadn't gotten it, because now you won't be in debt. You're just not going to make the money back. Mental and social health services, a master's in welfare. We're shocked that you're never going to make the money back? Of course not. Fine and studio arts is another one. Of course, that's number 3. Not a surprise. And number 4, music. Right up there. I'm an art, and people got a master's in art history. I'm like, okay, how many jobs are there in museums for you with your art history degree? So I think that this is a good thing. So I put it in the good news category for that reason. All right, we're going to end it coming up, and I've got some fun stories for the end of the show, because I'm not with you tomorrow. So I thought I'd share them with you today. So that's coming up next on 1210 WPHT.
I've always wanted to learn French, but the app I tried didn't help.
If you want to memorize words in another language, there's an app for that. But if you want to really learn another language, there's Babbel. Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different. Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Babbel feels like it was created intentionally by people who really know what you need to learn another language. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Want to really learn another language? Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to save up to 50%. Babbel.com.
This year, America celebrates 250 years. 2.5 centuries of courage, sacrifice, and family stories passed down from one generation to the next. Hi, I'm Nick Mako.
And I'm Adam Baselogger, founders of Legacy Box. Your family's piece of the American story is sitting in an attic or closet right now, trapped on aging VHS tapes, camcorder tapes, film reels, and fading photos.
Those boxes hold moments you can never recreate. Your wedding day, your children's voices when they were little, grandparents coming back to life on screen.
Over 2 million families have trusted Legacy Box. And we've just partnered with the USO to digitize fragile handwritten letters from World War II, helping preserve American history for future generations.
As America turns 250, remember that your family is a part of the American story. Preserving those voices, faces, and moments is a part of your responsibility to the next generation. Don't let them disappear on your watch.
Visit legacybox.com/radio for our amazing America 250 sale. That's legacybox.com/radio to save.
Hey, this is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. How many times are you going to listen to my voice before you finally go to investorschooling.com? I can't believe you haven't signed up for a class yet. You're going to learn real estate investing. You're going to learn stock options trading. You're going to learn things about money that you didn't even know existed. Go to investorschooling.com right now. Oh my goodness. This Thursday, investorschooling.com, and take that free class. See you there.
No! USA is up 2-0. That is the most dangerous lead in soccer.
Relax, Mike.
See that, Dan? My left eye is twitching. That's my warning eye. It'll be 2-2 by stoppage time. It's never wrong.
With early payout from Bet365, I got paid the second they went up 2 goals. So to me, it's now the safest lead.
Early payout from Bet365, huh? Now my right eye is twitching, Dan.
Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Pennsylvania. T's and C's apply. In-app only.
Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. But your business runs all year, so do the gaps and the risk. So go to supersure.com. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just go buy a policy online. Supersure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts. It'll translate your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
Free speech lives here on Odyssey's #1 talk station. Talk Radio 1210. WPHT.
I love this. Can we just listen to this? This is fantastic. They don't make them like this anymore. All right, I'm back. I'm Mary Walter, back with you. Be back with you on Monday. So I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. Like I said, if you're doing anything fun and you want to share something particularly patriotic, we're going on a cruise. We're going on the Sea Streak, which is the ferry that takes us into Manhattan. And they secured spots Saturday morning under the Verrazano Bridge, so you can watch the parade of the tall ships. They're already coming in. You can see some of them coming in already, and people are posting pictures and going up to Sandy Hook to watch them come in. And you can track them. You can track the tall ships, but there's going to be a parade under the Verrazano, so you can go there on the Sea Streak. But I didn't know if I could be anchored for that many hours and not be sick. So there's that. But then Saturday night, we're going with some friends again on the beautiful Sea Streak boats and going to the East River to watch the New York Macy's fireworks. So I'm very excited about that. That should be really pretty with the Statue of Liberty. That should be a lot of fun. So, and it's expensive, but my husband's like, you know what? Instead of buying something, let's spend money on an experience. We're never going to do this again. So it's the 250th. So let's do it. I was like, yeah. I mean, I wonder if we waited till next year, it'd be less expensive. But we're doing it. We're doing it on an experience. So, okay. So I don't have a ton of time. So a couple of things I wanted to share with you. This is good news. I have like weird news, kind of sad news. I have good news. I have weird news. But do you remember Kate plus 8? And it was John and Kate plus 8, and then it was just Kate plus 8. And I used to watch that. Remember, Kate was a little rough. She was tough. But then again, she had 8 kids. She had 8 kids. Now, this was a choice. The 6 was a choice. And it just worked out that you had 6. And, so I understand that it's hard, but it was tough. And the one kid, Colin, remember Colin? He was a little one. He had behavioral issues, and he kind of like just disappeared from the show when it was just Kate. Well, he has a new book coming out called In the Shadow of 8, Surviving the Reality of My Childhood. He's now 22 years old. All of the 6-year-olds are 22 years old. And he went to his Instagram story to reshare the New York Post's social media content about the book with the headline, Kate Gosselin Spiraling Ahead of Estranged Son Colin's Bombshell Memoir. She knows it's about to hit the fan. And the post included a photo of Kate, which Colin blurred out her face. And he attached a fan comment that read, "What's done in darkness will always come to light." So his dad wound up getting sole custody of him. He has not spoken to his mother in probably decades. Yeah, she lost sole custody of him in 2018 and had no idea that he was planning to release a tell-all book about his childhood. An insider told the outlet that she has not spoken to her son since he was institutionalized as a child. And we had heard that he had a lot of behavioral issues and he went to a hospital. And as the source said, she didn't expect any of this to ever come out, and now she's spiraling because she knows it's about to hit the fan. And Cade has alleged that Colin's accusations are false, despite him stating he has the evidence to back everything up. Now, this whole thing, when someone decides to air the dirty laundry, I think you take it all with a grain of salt. We all watched her. She was no walk in the park, all right? But when you're on camera all the time, you eventually forget that the cameras are there, and you do stuff that you probably would not do if the cameras were there. That happens in every household. And I think it just I think you got to take it all with a grain of salt. That's just me. He has big axe to grind, a big axe to grind. The memoir will remove the veil on the shocking facade of this picture-perfect family as Colin tells readers about being held down in the basement cell where he was hidden for years and a cocktail of powerful antipsychotics forced upon an 11-year-old boy. Remember, we're judging history through now, and who knows what the treatment was back then? We don't know what they gave kids who had problems. Who knows what he was diagnosed as? We don't know that, and it's only his side of the story. And one woman put a comment on one of Kate's TikToks. She's not talking about this, and said she empathizes with being constantly disparaged and lied about by an adult child with a skewed version of their childhood. And Kate said, "Thank you. You understand. Sadly, only parents who have a mentally ill child understand." And she wrote that it's so tough, saying she's learning that people have no ability to understand unless they've been through it themselves. I kind of think that's true. So this is coming out, and it's just, I feel bad for the whole family because the other kids are caught up in this. And that's bad. Good news, though. A lucky traveler won $3.3 million jackpot at the Harry Reid International Airport. So depending on where you are, there are 2 airports in the country where they have slot machines, and you can win money. And this guy won $3.3 million on the Wheel of Fortune machine in the Seagate area. He placed a $10 bet, and he won $3.3 million. I could spend $10 million and not win 3 on any kind of gambling at all, because I just don't have that kind of luck. I just don't whatsoever. Gosh, there's so much we didn't get to there. Could have done so much more. Well, maybe we'll address it on Monday when I'm back 3 to 6. Maybe we'll address some of this stuff then. So I'm going to end with this story. All right. This happened in Ohio. And you know when you go to the bank, you go through the drive-thru. Some of the banks still have those, you reach through because there's actually a teller there. It's not just an ATM, it's a teller. And they have those pneumatic tubes. And, you hit the button, the metal door goes up. You reach in, you take the pneumatic tube, you open it, you put your deposit in, right? You close it up, put it back in, press the button, it goes down, and it gets whoosh, and it gets sucked up, and it goes up and over the cars next to you, and it goes in, down, over to the teller, and they do your money. And then they send you back a receipt or whatever it is that you need. Well, there's a guy named Jason Smith. He's 46 years old. And he's from Ohio. And we know about him because he went to a bank in Woodsfield, Ohio. And according to a press release from the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, so you know this didn't go well because the sheriff's involved in making the comment, he unknowingly deposited a baggie containing a crystal-like substance consistent with methamphetamine into the air tube during the transaction. So he gave them the deposit with his name and his deposit slip with his address on it and the check and his stash of meth. And he sent it to them, and shockingly, they found him. He went to a bank 200 miles away. I don't understand that. But a dutiful canine sniffed his truck and uncovered suspected drugs and drug-related items. So at least, come on, that makes you laugh. Things could be worse. No matter what happens to you today, it's not that bad, okay? It's not crystal meth to the bank teller bad. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. I will see you on Monday. Justin and Matt, thank you so much, and happy Independence Day, everybody. Be safe.
Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done.